No matter how powerful fate is, how can it stop me? No matter how powerful fate is, how can it stop me? No matter how strong the will of heaven is, how can it stop me? No matter how strong the creatures in the world are, how can they stop me? Never bow your head to anyone. Be it the destiny god, or the god's tribe, or the strong enemies of all living things in the world, Long Fei would never lower his head. It wasn't because he was stubborn, but because he was unyielding. It was this belief that made him fearless. No matter how much pain he endured, no matter how much he knew he might die, he would still grit his teeth and persevere as long as he could. Because he was Long Fei. Ah! Long Fei roared, and then entered the dark hall again. Come again. The huge worm broke through the ground once again, rushing out from under his feet, directly swallowing Long Fei. Long Fei was the same, without any hesitation. Explode for me. Suicide methods. No one could do that. Being so cruel to himself, he was not a masochist. He just wanted to become stronger. Rumble. The dark worm exploded again. Long Fei revived once again and spat out another mouthful of blood. This time, his blood turned black, and his body seemed like it was about to collapse. However, Long Fei said in a heavy voice, again. Rumble. Rumble. Ding, ding, ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, King level, 2. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, King level, 3. Level 1 billion experience. Long Fei self-destructed 7 times. Every time he self-destructed, fire of primordial spirit would become weaker. After a short half-day, Long Fei's fire of primordial spirit was like a lamp without oil, flames flickered. Floating in the air. It could go out at any time. Even if Long Fei's body was made of stars, it still wouldn't be able to bear his consumption of energy. Again. All that was in front of Long Fei was blood. This is crazy. They're all F***king crazy. The fire of primordial spirit still hasn't extinguished. Are you F***king going to extinguish it? The old demon was going crazy, looking at the fire of primordial spirit in Long Fei's sea of consciousness. He was extremely weak. But even so, Long Fei never thought of stopping it. Even so, those threads of fire of primordial spirit still did not go out. Compared to the attack his master endured back then, and Long Fei's words, he felt that his crazy actions were just a child's play. He didn't care about his life. What is Long Fei? Long Fei was crazy to the point of not wanting to live. He was dancing in front of death, dancing with his life, dancing with his energy. He was tired of living, he did not want to live at all. Long Fei ignored the old demon, tightly holding onto his fairy order. He shouted again, and again, enter. The old demon shouted, go to hell, you're going to die soon. Long Fei said, I have no more time. The idea was released. Buzz. Long Fei once again entered the fairy order's instance dungeon. Huff, huff. Long Fei's footsteps were slow, as he supported himself on the wall, looking at the last worm in front of the dragon door that was covered in thick golden armor. Come. After I take care of you, I will break through to the second layer. The fire of primordial spirit began floating. Long Fei's idea entered his sea of consciousness once again. The fire of primordial spirit became weaker and weaker. Following Long Fei's control of the idea, the flame became a little smaller, and after his self-detonation, he would probably not be able to hold on any longer. He had no time. 3 days went by in an instant. If he could not obtain a more powerful strength, he could only watch Shenyuan Liya marrying someone else as he was used by Zhu Yuan like a tool. He could not allow such a thing to happen. Ah! Again, Long Fei roared out, and rushed towards the last worm boss. The old demon was stunned. I've always been because I'm the craziest person in this world. I never thought that you would be crazier than lousy, I really. Brat, you're in a hurry to stop right now. Isn't it just a woman? Is there a need for you to go all out like this? If you stop now, you might be in a hurry, but when the time comes... Long Fei completely ignored the old demon. In his heart, he was still determined. There wasn't the slightest bit of hesitation. The old demon king was about to be driven crazy by Long Fei. Damn you, immortal, I was talking to you. If you self-destruct one more time, you really would be in the air. Holy **T. Can you listen to me? Damn you. No matter what the old demon said, Long Fei acted as if he did not hear it. If he couldn't even save his own woman, then what kind of man was he? He had always wanted to protect the people around him, but they had always been protecting him. If not for Shenyuan Li he would have died. If he couldn't save her, then he would blame himself for his entire life. Come on. Long Fei rushed towards the black worm boss, the red light covering his body scattered in all directions, once again increasing the explosive power to its maximum, as he hysterically roared out. Ah! Buzz! Following Long Fei's release of this burst of power, the fire of primordial spirit in his spirit sea slowly extinguished. His body was exploding. The dark worms were also exploding. With the destruction of fire of primordial spirit, even if the great Luo Golden Immortal came, it would be useless. Long Fei also felt that he was disappearing, which was different from the way he self-destructed and disappeared. This time, he felt that even his primordial spirit was disappearing. Am I going to die? Am I really going to die this time? Perhaps. This is a relief to me, too. Long Fei closed his eyes. He did his best. He did everything he could think of. However, he couldn't do it. Seeing the last bit of spark seed on the fire of primordial spirit extinguish, Long Fei closed his eyes. It was also at this time. Suddenly, an incomparably gentle voice called out, Feia. A middle-aged woman appeared in his world, causing Long Fei to feel an inexplicable sense of warmth. The middle-aged woman looked at Long Fei with tears in her eyes. Feia, mother misses you so much. I didn't expect you to reach this stage. Long Fei trembled slightly. Mother? The middle-aged woman was Mu Wanna, but she was not a real person, but was instead an illusionary figure within Long Fei's primordial spirit. The middle-aged woman could not control herself and said, Don't say any more. Mother will immediately reignite your fire of primordial spirit. Mu Wanna did not say much. It was its primordial spirit just in case something happened. If her primordial spirit was destroyed, she could protect Long Fei again. His hands formed a seal. Waves of power were released from Mu Wanna's body, and transferred. Boom! With an explosive sound, Long Fei's fire of primordial spirit was ignited once more. It was also at this time. Mu Wanna's figure slowly turned into pieces. Feia, in the future, mother won't be able to protect you anymore. You have to take care of yourself, you have to protect yourself well. The fragments turned into powder, and the powder disappeared. In another place. In a desolate plain. Mu Wanna spat out a mouthful of black blood and his face was covered with it. Behind her, a man holding a 7 stars lantern said, Wanna, how long will you live if you give your fire of primordial spirit to him? Mu Wanna revealed a faint smile, and said, Even if I had to die 10,000 times, I would still be willing to let my son live. Hurry up. Hurry up. Old devil, are you really going to watch him die? Do you know he's the only hope? It's the hope of this world, and it's also our hope. Are you sure you haven't figured out the situation? It's fine if you're usually muddle-headed, but you're still muddle-headed at a time like this. Why are you in his body? Don't you have a little compulsion in your heart? The black and white were practically roaring. When he felt that Long Fei's fire of primordial spirit was extinguished, his heart crumbled. Because he did not want Long Fei to die. He had never said a word since the beginning. He had never thought that the old demon would save Long Fei at the most crucial moment. He did not move from the beginning, did not do anything. Otherwise, why would Long Fei's fire of primordial spirit be extinguished? The old demon was also sweating profusely. He angrily said, Old ghost, stop being so noisy for your father. I've been helping him. Do you think he can withstand dozens of explosions without my power? I don't have any points in my heart. I didn't save him. I've been saving him, but. The power from the old demon was still pouring into Long Fei's spirit ocean without end, but he was completely unable to feel Long Fei's spirit sea. There was only one possibility in this situation, or Long Fei was dead, his primordial spirit shattered, his soul flying destroyed. Or, Long Fei's spirit ocean was in a closed state, so no amount of power could enter from the outside. Black and White said anxiously, "But what? Say it clearly and see what I can do." The old demon said in a low voice, "My power can't enter his spirit sea. Logically speaking, I should be able to easily enter his spirit ocean at his level, but however, my power has always been pushed outside of my spirit ocean, so I can't go in. Either this kid is dead and my soul has collapsed, or else it's because there's a power even stronger than mine in his spirit ocean." Once the fire of primordial spirit was extinguished, Long Fei would not disappear instantly. There will be time. It was because of this that the old demon did not panic when the fire of primordial spirit was extinguished. This was because his strength could ignite Long Fei's fire of primordial spirit once again. Even if he had to pay a heavy price, he was very clear in his heart that without Long Fei, they would have no hope at all. But when he wanted to reignite fire of primordial spirit, he found that Long Fei's spirit ocean was already closed, and his power could not enter. He was also extremely anxious. Old ghost, will he die? I really didn't expect him to be this crazy. If he had entered Long Fei's spirit ocean earlier, he probably wouldn't have ended up like this. Black and White knew what it meant to have their spiritual seas close, and their voices lost their luster. This must be fate. Thinking back to how powerful his master was back then. The #1 powerhouse. The absolute overlord of ancient world, an existence that turned the tide with a flip of his hand. But, so what? In the end, it was still hard for him to escape death. He was also suppressed, unable to break through that shackle, unable to change this world, unable to save this world. Compared to his previous master, the current Long Fei was like an ant and a giant. Since his master had failed, how could he possibly succeed? Black and White said flatly, maybe. His master had lost the bet from the very beginning. This kid was indeed tenacious and was impeccable in every aspect, but his personality is too single, and he doesn't understand how to sacrifice the people around him. Black and White could not understand why a woman would self-destruct to become stronger. What was a woman? It was just a toy. What was there to be serious about? In the eyes of the powerhouse, what kind of woman do you want? Why would he sacrifice himself for a lowly woman? In the past, his master would never have done this. Black and White couldn't figure it out. He couldn't understand it at all. But he did not say anything else, but quietly waited. He was silent. The old demon kept trying, using all kinds of methods, and finally, there was nothing he could do, so he fell silent. The sarcophagus was silent. The azure dragon, sacred ancestral, ancient deviltry, and spring of life all became silent. No one spoke. They were all waiting for death to come. Once Long Fei's primordial spirit was destroyed, they would also dissipate along with it, because if they remained parasitic in Long Fei's body, it would still be fine for them to die, but if their primordial spirit was extinguished, they would also die. However, they were very calm. He was as calm as if this had happened more than once. They didn't die last time. It was their master who blocked everything and released their power, thus they escaped this calamity. Tens of millions of years had passed. They were waiting for their second chance, but now, what awaited them was still failure. What was different from last time was that this time, there was still death. Time passed minute by minute. No one made a sound. However, just then, a strange voice sounded out in Long Fei's mind. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Dark Worm King for obtaining 48,000 experience, 50,000 true spiritual value, 0 universal value. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Dark God's armor. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Darkness Divine Sword. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Ring of Darkness. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Dark God's boots. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, King level 4. A series of system beep sounds rang out. Long Fei opened his eyes slightly, his eyes were a little dazed, and he could not help but mutter under his breath, "Mother." After letting out a shout, He suddenly stood up and looked around. Mother, mother, is that you? Mother, where are you? It was also at this time. Long Fei's consciousness entered his spirit sea and shouted, Mother, are you here? Mother, I missed you so much. Memory seal. Long Fei had never seen his mother before. Only when he was born, but that picture was too blurry. His spirit ocean was in an uproar. Fire of primordial spirit was several meters tall, which was completely different from the few centimeters tall fire of primordial spirit that Long Fei had seen in the beginning. Mother, are you still there? Mother. Long Fei shouted loudly, but Mu Wanna's voice could no longer be heard from within his spirit ocean. As Long Fei looked at his burning fire of primordial spirit, he clenched his fists tightly and muttered, Mother, I will take good care of myself. I will protect myself. I will never treat myself like this again. His life had been given to him by his mother. Moreover, this fire of primordial spirit. Long Fei didn't dare think about it. Even if he did not understand, after the things that just happened, he was clear that if a person did not have a fire of primordial spirit, then that person would not be far from soul flying. He was afraid to think about it. The primordial spirit was destroyed. Everything was gone. The souls of the three souls shattered into nothingness. The barren plain. Mu Wanna was no longer there. The 7-star lamp in the man's hand ignited with blue flames. Tears flowed from his eyes as he looked at the blue fire within the 7-star lamp. Wanna, no matter what, I will save you. Holy sh**t. Holy sh**t. What's going on? This is fire of primordial spirit. Could this be the fire of primordial spirit of the gods? My dear boy, this is too damn strong, isn't it? The moment the old demon opened his eyes, Long Fei entered his spirit sea to have a look. When he saw fire of primordial spirit in Long Fei's spirit sea, he was immediately shocked. He had never seen such a powerful fire of primordial spirit before. Is he even human? This. Even God did not have such a strong fire of primordial spirit. The old devil was completely stupefied. Black and White also felt that Long Fei was different from before. The strength of a primal was related to the strength of a person's life. Right now, Long Fei's life was as hard as steel. It could be said that his fate had evolved. What's going on? Black and White also asked in confusion. The old demon muttered, how the F***ck would I know? It seems that my guess is right. This kid's spirit sea has always had a power that protects him. This power is much stronger than you, or I, imagine. But has the world become so terrible now? Stronger than both of us? What realm was that? Through the heavens? Semigod? Or has he already reached the god of boundary? You must know that Master's cultivation has not reached the peak of god of boundary yet. And giving away such a profound realm to him meant that he would die, and use his own life in exchange for this brat's life. Holy sh**t. The old demon didn't dare to imagine. The more he thought about it, the more his scalp went numb, because this was already beyond his imagination. He really did not expect that there would be such a powerhouse below the ancient world, and one that did not care about his life. It doesn't make sense at all. Black and White were silent for a long time before they said, maybe. This is the reason why Master chose him. The old demon said, Black and White, after following this kid for so long, how much do you know about him? I feel that he is not simple at all. The person protecting him in my spirit sea is not simple. We are not even at his level. Black and White shook his head. I don't know much about his background. I only know that he was chosen by the Master. I initially thought that he was the Master, but I realized that he wasn't, that he was actually the descendant of a dragon, slowly advancing from a lower realm to a higher one. He did not think too much about Long Fei's identity. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't be stronger than the former #1 powerhouse, right? So there was nothing to look at. The old demon murmured, if he came from a lower plane, how many planes did he break through? Black and White were stunned, then said, he had a part of his memories that was sealed by the seal, but it seems to have 5 or 6 dimensions. Speaking to this point, Black and White, themselves, were also stunned. because it was only now that they thought about the number of planes Long Fei had broken through. It was a little scary. The old demon muttered, "It's impossible for anyone, even if they're from the Chosen Ones and even if they possess peerless divine powers, to break through so many planes. It gives me a feeling." The old demon didn't finish speaking. His expression was exceptionally serious. He cautiously said, "It seems to be a type of experimental learning. Someone who can withstand this kind of experience, who has this kind of experience, the person behind him." Gudong. The old demon paused again. He didn't dare to continue. Black and White's pupils suddenly sunk as they murmured to themselves, "Master doesn't seem to be able to arrange such a situation, does he? This is too freaking scary. It seems like I have to be respectful to him the next time. I don't even know how I died." The old demon's heart trembled, feeling that he would have to act like a human being in front of Long Fei in the future. All of these were their guesses towards Long Fei. They were the only ones who could guess that, and they were certain that the power behind Long Fei was far stronger than they had imagined. The key point was, they could not think of anyone with such power or ability. Dragon Clan? How much power did a descendant of their master have? A powerful force that appeared after his master was suppressed? Or could it be that the current world, because of the ancient inheritance that was birthed by the ancient world, had allowed the plane to become more perfect and the power to become even stronger, thus allowing one to obtain such a powerhouse? Huff. Monochrome exhaled a long breath. "We'll only know when we save Master." Long Fei kept shouting in his spirit sea, as though he was crazy and was running around. However, there was no response. Nothing. It stood there as if it was alone, quietly watching Long Fei, as if it was also protecting Long Fei. Boss, Tan De Pao heard Long Fei's voice from inside the room and quickly walked forward. Long Fei's thoughts recovered, and she said faintly, "I'm fine." Hearing the voice, Tan De Pao's heart settled as he said faintly, "Big brother Long, tomorrow will be the wedding day between the Holy Maiden and Ju Yuan." He didn't know what Long Fei had been doing these past 3 days, but Tan De Pao knew clearly in his heart that he was desperately trying to become stronger. Long Fei secretly tightened his eyes and said, "I know." Tan De Pao paused for a few seconds, and slowly exited the courtyard. "How is it? Did Big Brother Long Fei say anything?" Su pulled Tan De Pao and asked anxiously, "Does he have a way to break the array? No matter what, we cannot let elder sister Holy Maiden marry that demon dweller." Lan Mai also looked at Tan De Pao. Tan De Pao shook his head and said, "Boss didn't say anything, but I smell blood in the boss's room." Su instantly became nervous, and asked, "Big brother Long Fei is injured?" He was just about to rush into the courtyard, but was stopped by Lan Mai with one hand. He lightly shook his head and said, "Don't disturb him." But Su was worried about Long Fei's injuries. Tan De Pao said, hearing boss's voice, "There shouldn't be any major matters. It's the last night." The three of them looked at the night sky. It was only a few hours before dawn. Right now, they had no methods. Not to mention methods, they didn't even know how to break this mountain protection formation. They couldn't even get out. They could only helplessly watch as the Holy Maiden married the demon dwellers. Give Ju Yuan the tools to help him pass his tribulation? The three of them were secretly nervous. In the room, Long Fei calmed down and muttered to himself, "Mother, I will bring your fire of primordial spirit down. I will become stronger than anyone else. I want to control the sky. I want to control the land. I want to be in my hands. Even if my primordial spirit is gone, I will think of a way to save you. I swear on my life." Then, Long Fei looked at the dark god set that he had taken out from the Black Worm King's body. Without even looking at the attributes, the idea moved and immediately said, "Exchange experience." Ding. System notification. The exchange of the dark god's armor is successful. Obtained 100 million experience point. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Ding. System prompt. Exchange successful. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Didn't even take a glance at the stats of the entire set of items. Right now, he only wanted experience, and even more power. Didn't even take a glance at the stats of the entire set of items. Right now, He only wanted experience, and even more power. In just half a minute, Long Fei consecutively leveled up to level 6, and directly broke through the Emperor Realm. Level 1 of the Emperor Realm. Long Fei looked at his own level and felt the power of the Emperor Realm. He thought to himself, still not strong enough, still not good enough. Even if it was just 3 days of leveling up to level 10, he still wouldn't miss match if he wanted to compete with the combined power of Zhu Yuan's Divine Path and Demonic Way. Zhu Yuan could even defeat Powerhouse of the Overlord Realm. He was only at the Emperor Realm. The difference was too great. About that. Brat, you don't need to be afraid. What the heck, what are you doing, Black and White? Why are you blocking my voice? The old demon realized that his voice was blocked out by a force after saying a few words. The only thing that could block his voice was Black and White. Black and White said, this is his path. We can't interfere too much. He's going to walk his own path. The more we interfere, the more difficult his future path will be. Black and White did not want Long Fei to feel that there was a way out. The old demon was stunned for a moment before saying, if my strength can bewitch him, then that Jew rascal is not even qualified to carry his shoes. Black and White said, you still say that? We can only help him at the most crucial moments to ensure that he doesn't die. As for the rest, it's all up to him. The old demon grinned. I don't care. I'm not you, I'm not the same as you. This kid's personality is the same as mine, indifferent to life and death. If you don't accept it, just do it. We can talk about the future later. The old demon didn't say anything to Long Fei. He had his own plans. The matter of him not letting the fire of primordial spirit perish once again occurred. Huff. Long Fei looked out the window at the night sky. The sky is about to brighten. The last test. Long Fei held onto the fairy order in his hand, and it moved, enter, buzz. His figure disappeared. It appeared in the Dark Hall. This trial of the Dark Hall had already been cleared by him. Long Fei stood in front of the Dragon Gate, looked at the 2 huge dragon gates, and said slightly, stepping over and transforming into a dragon? If I am a dragon, then what will the dragon transform into? Who? Long Fei exhaled a deep breath once again, and slowly walked forward as he pressed both hands on the dragon door with great force. Crack, crack, crack. The heavy stone door opened and beams of light shot out. It was the complete opposite of the Dark Hall, and inside was a world of light. When the light shone on his body, he felt as if he was bathed in the spring breeze. This feeling was very pleasurable and pleasurable. Boom. The 2 doors were completely open, the strong light was blinding Long Fei, causing him to be unable to see the world inside. Without thinking too much, he stepped in. Buzz. A ripple of light rose up beneath his feet, as if he was walking in water. What a powerful aura. This place. Long Fei looked around. There was nothing around him, it was like a paradise in a movie world. There were no people or monsters, only an endless energy aura surging in the surroundings. Long Fei walked forward carefully. Beneath his feet, bursts of light flashed. At his feet, an enormous divine dragon swam about, following his footsteps. This dragon was completely different from ordinary dragons. It was an ancient dragon. The scales on his body and the horns on his head made his dragon blood stand out from the masses. Every step Long Fei took, the dragon under his feet would swim for a bit. From start to finish, they maintained the same rhythm, as if Long Fei's image was reflected on this road. Actually, it was Long Fei's reflection. This is a special secret world. He could see things that he had never seen before. Long Fei did not notice the reflection beneath his feet. After walking for an hour, he stopped, as if he was still in place no matter how he walked. Is there anyone here? It's good to be weird. There was no response. Long Fei's voice did not reply. Holy **T. How should I pass this trial? Why do you have to give me some hints at the very least? Long Fei looked at the system and saw no hints. He was afraid that there would be no one in this place. If he had to blame anyone, he wouldn't blame me. Time passed minute by minute. Long Fei was getting impatient. What he lacked the most was time. The sky was about to brighten, and Xinyuan Li and Zhu Yuan's wedding was about to take place. If he still hadn't obtained the Oatutsuki Hagoromo's inheritance power and was still unable to make himself stronger, then he could only helplessly watch as his own woman married someone else. Is there anyone here? Long Fei roared again. At this moment, Black and White suddenly shouted, "Use your blood essence." Huh! Long Fei was startled. My blood essence? Black and White said, "This blood essence of yours can break through all illusions, even the illusionary god's illusionary land." Long Fei did not doubt this. After fusing with the body of the star, his blood essence was even more abnormal. Moreover, it even had the power to open the door of space-time. Immediately, Long Fei did as he was told. His finger moved as he released the blood essence. Drip. When the drop of blood landed on the floor, everything in the surrounding collapsed. A large area collapsed. The image under Long Fei's feet also disappeared. His body sank. Uncontrollable descent into the abyss. Hualala. Hualala. Strong gales raged beside his ears, causing Long Fei's face to blow painfully, one remembrance of heaven, one remembrance of hell. The cold wind howled, and tens of thousands of ghosts cried. In the dark abyss, Long Fei felt endless resentment, brutality, as well as boundless hatred and killing intent, constantly filling Long Fei's mind. Boom. Boom. The power from his body formed a defense, continuously repelling the power. It was impervious to all evils. In the end. An hour later. Boom. Long Fei landed on the ground, but did not fall. Instead, he steadily stood on the ground, and at the same time, the system suddenly sounded out a notification. Ding. Congratulations player Long Fei for clearing the trial. You have gained 6 million experience points, 30,000 true spiritual value points, and 0 universal value. Clearing the level? What do you mean? Long Fei looked at the system, slightly dazed, and muttered. Is it that I have already passed the Oatutsuki Hagoromo's test? I can obtain the inheritance power of the Oatutsuki Hagoromo? Damn. Long Fei was a little excited. It was also at this time. An old man carrying a large gourd on his back slowly walked out while waving a palm leaf fan. His eyes narrowed and revealed a smile, and he looked at Long Fei and said indifferently, "You are right, you have passed the test. To experience the joys and sorrows. Experiencing the samsara of life and death. You are the one who has perfectly passed the test. So, you will receive 6 legacies, and from now on, you will be 6. As soon as he finished, the old man walked in front of Long Fei. Without stopping, he directly passed through him. After passing through Long Fei's body, the old man's figure slowly became illusory. Without waiting for Long Fei to be shocked. System beep. Ding. The shadow passed through Long Fei's body, then entered the darkness, and slowly disappeared. The shadow passed through Long Fei's body, then entered the darkness, and slowly disappeared. The surroundings returned to silence, as if nothing had happened. However, a system announcement rang out in Long Fei's mind. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for clearing the level. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Oatutsuki Hagoromo's legacy. As the system beep landed, a rainbow-colored package slowly floated down from the system interface, just like a big gift pack given by the system. This is the power of the inheritance of the Oatutsuki Hagoromo. What kind of power would it be? Long Fei was a little impatient. He did not know whether the 6 Daos was the 6 Daos of China's legends or the Oatutsuki Hagoromo among the Fire Shadow Ninjas. In short, no matter which one it was, they were all existences that defied the heavens. Long Fei became nervous. This time, it was like a boss had dropped. Moreover, it wasn't a normal boss, but a super boss. How could he not be excited and nervous? Amity tofu. God bless us. Long Fei muttered a few sentences. The idea tapped on it and opened the rainbow gift pack. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 6 forces. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining immortal power. 6 Daos. So the immortal inheritance is actually 2 separate powers? I'll rub it. Long Fei was almost tricked by the system. He had always been because the Oatutsuki Hagoromo was a type of power. He never thought that there would actually be 2 types of power, look at the 6 forces. Receive. The idea moved and retrieved the 6 forces from the system. It was also at this time. The light of the 6 forces shone brightly, directly forming the shape of a hexagram in Long Fei's mind. 6 paths: Heavenly Tao, Ashura Tao, Human Tao, Beast Tao, Hungry Ghost Tao, Underworld Tao. The 6 legendary ways of religion. Each Tao represented a type of power. It could also be said to represent a type of person, a type of cultivation. Buzz. Long Fei moved, and gently touched the Heavenly Tao in that instant. Boom. A thunderous explosion sounded out from within Long Fei's body, and at the same time, Long Fei felt as if his body was possessed by a god. His entire body, from head to toe, carried with it an endless amount of divine power. The Tao of the heavens was also known as the Path of Gods. Long Fei clenched his fists. Boom. Golden light burst out from his fists as golden light flourished around his entire body. At the bottom of his feet, streams of golden light swirled about like streams of powerful god power. My darling. This power. Long Fei was so astonished in his heart that he looked like an idiot, because the power he felt was too strong. At the beginning, he had only felt like he was possessed by a god, but now, he felt like he was a god. Power kept gushing out from them. Boom. His right arm sank down, causing an explosive sound to ring out. The moment his arm moved, an explosive sound echoed out. Long Fei's gaze locked onto something, stared at the empty space in the distance, and punched out. Crack. Like a bolt of lightning striking down, his fist brought with it rays of golden light. The moment he struck out, a loud crashing sound could be heard. Hualala. Hualala. Space itself shattered. Space could not withstand the power of Long Fei's fist at all. Finally. Rumble. With an explosive sound, the entire moon shook non-stop. A powerful force broke out from the surface of the moon and rushed out to a distance of 100,000 kilometers. Many of the moon-seeing satellites failed at this moment. The Earth was once again in a state of panic. Ha ha ha. This power. It's going to explode. Long Fei was ecstatic. Every single 6 forces is an offensive power, and every single energy is different. Heavenly Tao, God's power. The power of the Ashura Tao? What is the power of humanity? The path of an animal, the path of a hungry ghost, and the path of hell, what kind of power is that? Long Fei did not try them out one by one. Regardless of the other 5, just the power of the Heavenly Tao was enough for Long Fei to use. As for the other 5, it was his turn then. Then again. He didn't have that much time now. Look again at the other 5 forces. They have been combined in the shape of a hexagram. With me at the center, the 6 energies should be able to completely combine. This might be the real 6 forces. I don't care. Let me first take a look at the power of immortals. Long Fei moved the idea and checked the immortal energy. The system changed its interface and the property of the immortal energy appeared. Different from the 6 forces, there was only a single strand of immortal power. The idea clicked. Immortal energy, Berserk immortal mode. A power. The mode power of the Berserk deity. Long Fei became nervous again. The fire shadow has the power of an immortal, but that immortal mode is also ordinary. I wonder what this Berserk immortal mode will be. Let's give it a try. Activate. Boom. The immortal energy fused into Long Fei's body. Buzz. In an instant. Long Fei's human form suddenly changed, his pupils turning golden, his hair shooting up to the sky. The aura on his body suddenly changed, and he went berserk like an explosive. However, the strength was far more than this. Long Fei's eyes moved, his right hand flipped. Boom. The large gourd on the old man's back appeared in his hand. His left hand moved. The palm leaf fan was also in his hand. These 2 are super holy artifacts. Damn. This power of an immortal. Could it be the Oatuchuki Hagoromo mode? This is too much. Long Fei's blood started to boil. 6 paths was 6 paths. Immortal energy. Was it Oatuchuki Hagoromo among the shadows of the fire again? The ninja's ancestor? This was a bit too awesome. Are these 2 strength enough for me to run rampant in Fatry sect? Ju Yuan. Zhu Daoren? Now let's see who can stop me. Long Fei reverted back to his original appearance, his eyes emitting a strong killing intent. He said solemnly, "Wash my butt and wait, I'm here." Factory Sect, Saints Hill. The place was decorated with lanterns and decorations, filled with a festive atmosphere. The leaders of countless sects under the jurisdiction of the Factory Sect, Shongjiao Fujiao, all came to congratulate. All of a sudden, the people on Saints Hill were surging. It was extremely lively. Congratulations, congratulations. The young lord and the holy maiden are a match made in heaven. A beauty is compatible with a genius, ha ha ha. I heard that young master Zhu Yuan has already broken through his shackles, and almost stepped into the overlord realm. The Factory Sect will definitely become the overlord of the western regions in the future. Young sect master has already stepped into the overlord realm at such a young age. In another 100 years, wouldn't he become a Zhizun? When that happens, he will be the #1 Zhizun of the western regions. With young sect master's talent, he will definitely take first place in the gathering of heroes, entering the sky sect of Ling clan, becoming a descendant of God's tribe, or even entering the heavenly palace, obtaining the unparalleled inheritance power. At that time, who can match him? Listening to all of these, Zhu Daoren was smiling like a flower. The Immortals' Residence. The Immortals' Residence. Many disciples were huddled together in groups of 2 or 3. Watching the Saints Hill emit joyous music, their hearts were deathly still. For 3 days they did nothing. No food, no sleep, like a living dead, either sitting, lying, or leaning. For them, life has lost hope. They had a few days to live. The feeling of waiting for death to come was too unbearable. There are still 7 days before we die. 7. The life of the heavens. Why did I enter the secret world to cultivate? Me. It's all Long Fei's fault. If not for him, would we have been implicated? Now we should celebrate at Saints Hill. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Many people's voices were trembling. The enveloping of death in their hearts had already made them lose hope in their lives, and Zhu Daoren's words had made them feel as if they had fallen into hell. The boss is here. Suddenly, a sound was heard. Tan Depao's gaze tensed up as he looked at the not-so-far gate of the courtyard. Long Fei was standing at the gate of the courtyard. Many disciples looked sideways at Long Fei, their faces filled with disdain and contempt, and many people even hated Long Fei to the extreme. Tan Depao immediately went forward. Boss Su Su and Lan Mai also walked forward and said, "Big brother Long Fei." Long Fei looked in the direction of the Saints Hill. The joyous sound of a trumpet could be heard echoing throughout the entire Immortal Edge mountain range. Tan Depao said softly, "The wedding has begun." Su Su could not help but say, "Big brother Long Fei, save big sister Holy Maiden." For her to be treated as a tool by Zhu Daoren, she is truly too pitiful. If not for big sister Holy Maiden, we would all have died. If you like big sister Holy Maiden, I will definitely not stop you. Su Su was normally against Long Fei liking other women, but now, she agreed to Shenyuan Li's request. Lan Mai looked at Long Fei and did not say much. Anyway, no matter what choice Long Fei made, she would support him. Long Fei slowly walked towards the Great Mountain Protection Array. Everyone looked at Long Fei, and could not help but say, "It's all your fault. Stop looking, even if you look any further you won't be able to see Saints Hill. What happened in Saints Hill has nothing to do with you. When the young sect master and the Holy Maiden are done with their marriage, they will take care of us." Sigh. A 7-day lifespan. Long Fei turned a deaf ear to her, and walked to the front of the protective formation. At this time, the patrol squad of the Factory Sect just happened to be standing outside the array, and when they saw Long Fei, they couldn't help but sneer and scold, "Trash, if it wasn't for you Trash, would this old man really need to patrol here? I should be happy in the Saints Hill now." Long Fei looked at him. The head of the patrol said angrily, "What are you looking at? Mother **K, if it wasn't for the protective magical formation, I would have definitely dug your eyes out." **CK. A few of the lackeys mocked him. "Captain, they are all dead. In 7 days, when the Mr. Celestial takes action, even the protective magical formation wouldn't be able to protect him." Even a trash from the East Imperial City like him dares to fight against young sect master? Let's see how strong you are. Exactly. Trash, just enjoy the remaining 7 days. It's such a pity for these two beautiful junior sister, if only they could reward us patrol scouts. At that time, I would definitely play with her for 3 days and 3 nights, letting her know what it means to be manly. Ha 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 ha. Everyone laughed out loud. Tan Depao clenched his fists tightly and gritted his teeth until they cracked. But there was nothing he could do. The Immortal Estate's protective magical formation was too powerful. He had been trying repeatedly for the past 3 days, but, not to mention breaking through the formation, not even a single ripple could be produced. The difference in strength was too great. At this moment, Long Fei pressed his palm against the protective formation. The idea moved a little, his right fist extending outwards as he thought in his heart, Heavenly Dao. Buzz. Divine light surged. Long Fei's fist instantly became golden. Wow. What does he want to do? Look at his expression. How scary. Why? You still want to break the array? Break it with your fist. I'm so scared. Ha ha ha. Don't you see what you are? A piece of trash like you trying to break the formation? Even the sword intent of our young sect master's divine path wouldn't be able to. Exactly. Ha ha ha. The patrol laughed again. Rumble. Lightning clanged. Catcher. Bang. Also at this moment, Long Fei's right fist landed heavily on the formation. This punch was aimed at boundary. At the same time, he was also aiming at a jeering disciple outside the boundary. This was an exceptionally ordinary punch. But this punch. The protective array formation emitted creaking sounds, and cracks appeared under his fist. In that instant, the disciple's head also disappeared, leaving only half of his body standing on the spot. The head disappeared. It didn't explode, it simply disappeared. The power pierced through the protective formation. Blood spurted from the great artery in his neck. For a moment, everyone was stupefied. The patrolling team members were stunned on the spot as they turned around to look at their junior brother who had disappeared without a trace. Their scalps were slightly numb. Tan Depao was also stunned. Looking at Long Fei's back view, he suddenly felt that the current Long Fei was not the Long Fei of 3 days ago. The aura on his body had become completely different. Su Su, on the other hand, seemed to be infatuated with flowers. Her eyes flashed with light, and she said, "So handsome. Too handsome. Big brother Long Fei, you are simply too handsome, he." Only Lan Mai remained calm. No matter how strong Long Fei became, she would not be surprised. She looked at the mountain protection array whose power was constantly being spread, and felt that there were countless cracks on the array. The power of this punch. It was unimaginable. The power produced by the fusion of the Devil Dao's sword intent and Zhu Yuan's divine path was incomparably savage, but it still could not cause any damage to the Great Mountain Protection Array. However, Long Fei's fist just now. Completely different. Ferocious was not the most important thing. The most important thing was its destructive power. It was as if it was a virus that could continuously spread out. The other disciples from the Immortal Graveyard also stood up, looking at the silent Long Fei. Long Fei raised his right arm again. This time, he stayed there for even longer. His expression darkened as he stared at the direction of the explosion and roared, "Break for me." Boom. He clenched his fist. Long Fei's entire right arm was enveloped in golden light. A punch was fired out. Crack. Bam. Rumble. The great protective magical formation continued to emit rumbling sounds. Then, crash. Crash. The protective magical formation above their heads fell to the ground like glass fragments. The power of the formation was broken. All of his defensive powers instantly disintegrated. 2 fists to break the formation. Long Fei took a step forward, landed in front of the patrol squad captain, and said coldly, "Are you ready to accept death?" Rumble. 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 Explosions rang out in the sky above the Immortals' residence. Not long later, one of the Elder of Secret Sects quickly reported to Zhu Daoren, "Mr. Celestial, the Immortals' residence's Grand Protective Array is open." He didn't know how. However, he definitely would not have thought that it was shattered by Long Fei's 2 punches. Zhu Daoren frowned slightly, and said, "It's good that it has been opened, but since it has been opened, let's kill them all. Leave one alive, leave that brat Long Fei behind, and leave his life for Yuan. Elder of Secret Sect nodded lightly, and said, "Understood." And then, he quickly retreated. An old man stepped forward, cupped his fists, and said, "Lord Mr. Celestial, it's been so long since I last saw the bride. I heard that the Holy Maiden of the Fatry Sect is the #1 beauty in the Fatry Sect. Could you let us take a look? Young Master Zhu is also a dragon amongst men, he hasn't appeared yet." Zhu Daoren said in a bland voice, "You will all appear in 1 hour. Don't worry, I'll let you all see it." Meditation peak. Shenyuan Li sat in front of the dressing table like a puppet. Her eyes were lifeless as she looked at herself in the mirror. Her heart was somewhat flustered, somewhat struggling, but it was mostly calm. She wanted to resist. However, she couldn't. Because of Long Fei. These few days, she knew that Long Fei was imprisoned in the Immortal's residence. Long Fei's life was completely in Zhu Daoren's hands. Her condition was that Zhu Daoren let her go. She would be willing to marry Zhu Yuan and completely cooperate with him. She knew some of the rumors outside. Moreover, back then when the God's Tower were clearing the trial, Zhong Wushuang had wanted to borrow her power, and at that time, Long Fei was present, to help her block everything. At that time, she knew that there was a strong power in her body, but what exactly was this power? She didn't know. But that was no longer important. No matter what Zhu Yuan wanted to do to her, as long as Zhu Daoren let her go, she was willing to give up everything. In your previous life, you were me. In this life, I'll return it to you. Big brother Long Fei, I'm sorry. Shenyuan Li's heart was crying. She wanted to cry, but she could only face it head on. All right, Miss Holy Maiden. Let's put on the hood and head to the Saint's Hill. A maid said softly. The Holy Maiden stood up from her dressing table. At this moment, the auras of the tens of S from the secret sect outside quivered slightly. Their auras were all focused on Shenyuan Li, and the moment he moved, their auras would tighten. Right now, there were at least 100 S from the secret sect. They just wanted to make sure everything was safe. Because Shenyuan Li was incomparably important to Zhu Daoren. Shenyuan Li got up and walked to the window, then looked in the direction of the Immortal's residence. She recalled everything that had happened before, and tears welled up in her eyes. One of the maids said softly, "Miss Holy Maiden, it's best not to cry. Otherwise, we will have to make up for the makeup. We don't have much time." He tried his best to hold it in. Shenyuan Li forcefully held back her tears and lightly said, "Let's go." At this time, a maid covered the head and covered Shenyuan Holy Maiden's face. At this moment, Shenyuan Li her tears could not stop flowing down. The Immortal's residence. Several patrols outside the protective magical formation were completely annihilated. They all died tragically at the hands of Long Fei. Long Fei turned around and looked at Tan Dapao, saying, "I alone will be enough." "You guys stay here," Su Su immediately said. "I don't want it, I want to go too. Even if I die, I want to die together with you. Besides, how can I miss such a good show like stealing the bride?" Su Su giggled. No matter what, she had to follow Long Fei. She was able to help Long Fei heal and block some of the damage on his behalf. Tan Dapao said, "Boss, I will go too." His eyes were determined. Long Fei looked at his right arm, and his gaze tightened. Lan Mai said, "I'm coming too." The 3 of them had determined looks on their faces. Long Fei secretly clenched both his fists, the idea moved, and 3 drops of blood appeared on his palms. "Consume my blood essence." The 3 of them were surprised for a moment, but they did not think too much about it. Raising their heads and consuming Long Fei's blood essence into their bodies, in that instant, powerful energy instantly burst out from their blood essence, causing the aura on their bodies to suddenly change. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Red light burst from their bodies. It was also at this time. A few other disciples walked over with an aggressive look, and said, "Long Fei, I don't care what methods you have to break the array, but you all cannot leave. We originally had 7 days of lifespan, but you weren't even willing to give it to us. What are you talking to him about? It's time for us to make up for our past deeds. As long as we kill them all, Mr. Celestial will definitely let us go, maybe he will even reward us. Yes, you're right. A murderous light flashed in their eyes. However, Long Fei raised his eyes, with a flip of his left hand, a palm leaf fan appeared in his hand, and he suddenly dropped it. Hualala. Several tens of disciples instantly disappeared from the spot. They have. To another world. The infernal realm. The system kept beeping. Ding, ding, ding. Long Fei did not want to waste any more words with them. His heart was now in turmoil. If he didn't hold himself back, he would never have allowed those people to disappear in such a manner. Instead, he would have exploded their bodies with a single punch. Boom. Ah! Tan De Pao roared. His right arm. It began to regenerate crazily, and an arm that was as good as new and stronger than the left arm grew out. Not only that. The entire right arm was covered in blood runes. It was the right arm, and similarly, it was a mechanical arm that could constantly change into various kinds of firearms. Boom, boom, boom. His cultivation realm also exploded one after another. A dozen or so consecutive explosions rang out, and he directly stepped into the 8th level of the Emperor realm. Lan Mai's eyes flashed with an eerie blue light. Boom, boom. His cultivation base had directly broken through to the 9th level of the Heavenly Saint. Su Su was the most amazed. The elf tree that was being released from her body was blooming, and was slowly bearing fruits. Long Fei's blood essence could allow the dragon sword to quickly break through. Being able to help the Queen of Blood Moon make a quick breakthrough, and the 3 sisters Yi Mai was also able to help them make a breakthrough as well. This battle, Long Fei not only wanted to deal with Zhu Yuan, Zhu Daoren and his son, he also wanted to face the entire factory sect. Boom. Boom. In the distance, thunder rumbled. One figure after another descended like gods of death. The instant he landed on the ground. Her figure was like a ghost. With an extremely strong killing intent, she quickly charged towards Long Fei. Long Fei slightly raised his eyes, he took a step forward. Shua. The figure disappeared. Boom. A Disciples of Secret Sect was pressed onto a big tree, his head was split open, a system beep came out, Long Fei smiled, and said sinisterly, "The slaughter begins." Tan De Pao and the other 2 were still evolving, and did not move at all. Tan De Pao and the other 2 were still evolving, and did not move at all. Long Fei moved. He crushed a Disciples of Secret Sect with one hand, and with a leap, he appeared in front of another Disciples of Secret Sect in the next second. Boom. His heart exploded. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Disciples of Secret Sect, for obtaining 80,000 experience, 60,000 true spiritual value, and 1 universal value. Long Fei did not turn back. He leaped into the air, his feet on the shoulders of a Disciples of Secret Sect, his body sinking slightly, fall. Hualala. Like a nail, it stabbed straight into the rock from mid-air, causing his entire body to bleed to death. The system sounded out again. Ding. Long Fei's figure disappeared once again. The Disciples of Secret Sect were all the elites of the factory sect. All of the specially selected geniuses had cultivations above the Emperor realm. The most important point. They were Zhu Daoren's trusted aides, and they were absolutely loyal to him. And because of this, Long Fei did not hesitate at all. Bam! 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 In the dense forest, those Disciples of Secret Sects all died a tragic death. All of them were defeated in a single move by Long Fei, and several tens of them were killed off in a few minutes. In the distance, one of the elder of Secret Sect's eyes turned sinister as he said darkly, "A bunch of trash can't even deal with an Emperor realm piece of trash." Humph. However, the elder of Secret Sect squinted, breaking through to the Emperor realm in just a few short days from the senior realm. This brat's breakthrough speed is really shocking. As expected of the top scholar, just that. That's right. Zhong Xian's finger moved slightly. Archers, get ready, whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh, Hundreds of disciples carrying big bows and crossbows walked out from behind Elder of Secret Sect. Each of them was like an arrow, their expressions cold. The Elder of Secret Sect laughed coldly and said, "Even if you have more power, it's useless. If you stand in the wrong line, there's only one outcome. Shoot him." Hualala. They moved in an orderly manner with orderly sounds. When the chi surged from the crossbow wielder's body, there were no arrows, but arrows condensed from power of true spirit could be seen on the crossbows one after another. These arrows were called spirit armor arrows. It could pierce through space, even 10 layers of steel armor could pierce through. Moreover, when it hit its target, it could still lock onto it and trigger the other arrows to lock onto it. It was also at this time. Chu Qing suddenly shouted, "Long Fei, be careful!" Qin Shuang and Zheng Yuanhang also rushed out from the forest on the other side, and anxiously said, "Secret sect crossbow wielders, spirit armor arrows, be careful." Elder of Secret Sect said coldly, "You're courting death. Shoot." As soon as he finished, the crossbowman shot out 100 arrows at the same time. Elder of Secret Sect sneered, "Forget about you being a emperor strongman. Even if you're a heavenly sacred realm powerhouse, you better obediently accept your death." The archers of the secret sect were the trump cards of the secret sect. They never made a move easily, but once they did, they never failed. Whoosh, whoosh. Hundreds of arrows shot out and instantly vanished into the void. Break through the void, appear again. One arrow hit, 10,000 arrows followed. Qin Shuang and Zhong Yuanhang blocked in front, and Chu Qing said, "The wedding is about to start. Go save Big Sister Holy Maiden, we will block this place." Immortal's residence was still hundreds of thousands of kilometers away from Saint's Temple, and it would take some time to get there. Long Fei had to hurry to stop them. However, Long Fei did not leave. After coming out of the desolate secret world, his strength had been affected by the seal, and seeing so many grandfather protectors miserably die one by one in front of him, he felt extremely miserable in his heart. He would absolutely not let the people beside him die for him. Spirit armor arrow, right? Condensed power of true spirit. Then, as long as I kill these archers, the spirit armor arrows will be useless. Long Fei said indifferently. The Elder of Secret Sect's gaze tensed up, and laughed. "Not bad, you actually know the weakness of the spirit armor arrow, but the spirit armor arrow has already been shot out, so you can only wait for death." At this distance, no matter how fast Long Fei was, he could not be faster than the spirit armor arrow. Moreover, he was a dignified Elder of Secret Sect. How could a heavenly sage realm powerhouse be weak? The reason why these crossbows stood behind him was because he wanted to protect these people. How could he let Long Fei kill them? Elder of Secret Sect was very confident. However, after a drop of Long Fei's blood essence fell, he took a step and disappeared. Elder of Secret Sect's brows tightened, and let out a heavy sound. Lame duck, what can you do? You can't do anything. Before he could finish, Hualala. The crossbowmen behind him suddenly fell down in large numbers. Because their positions were too neat, Long Fei's right fist exploded with power, and with the channeling of his heavenly energy, it was as if he was hitting an ox across a mountain, causing the heads of a row of crossbow archers to explode. The spirit armor arrows they shot out instantly vanished into nothingness. Ding, ding, ding. A series of notifications rang out. At the same time, Long Fei threw another lightning-fast punch, and another row of crossbowmen came down. Consecutive attacks. The crossbow wielder was instantly disintegrated, leaving the Elder of Secret Sect unable to react. It was only after Long Fei had killed all of the archers that he suddenly froze. Space. Space, secret technique, you actually. Long Fei's figure moved once again. He disappeared from the spot. When Elder of Secret Sect turned around, Long Fei's figure suddenly appeared and grabbed him by the throat. The power of his palm rushed into Elder of Secret Sect's body and completely crushed him. He stared at Elder of Secret Sect and said solemnly, "Die." Crack. His neck was directly crushed. It was also at this moment. Long Fei moved his right fist, a golden light flowing on the heavenly Tao. Boom. A punch smashed Elder of Secret Sect's head into smithereens. Defense Presbyter's self-destructing soul flying, Don't even think of having any chance at all. Long Fei's eyes were filled with fury, and his entire body seemed to be set ablaze. Thinking about Defense Presbyter self-destructing, his killing intent became even stronger. Outside the Saint's temple, a disciples of secret sect came and reported urgently. Big elder of secret sect's gaze suddenly became tense. The entire secret sect has been annihilated. Damn thing. Another elder of secret sect said, should we tell Mr. Celestial? Big elder of secret sect opened his eyes wide and said solemnly, we can't even get a single new disciple. Do you think Mr. Celestial will be happy? If we can't even handle such a small matter, do you think the Mr. Celestial will give us the right to do so? Even the defense presbyter died in such a miserable way at our hands. I don't believe that a mere Long Fei like you could overturn the heavens. The big elder of secret sect was infuriated as he said in a heavy tone, send my order, all elder of secret sect are to move out. Yes, sir. An elder quickly retreated. Big elder of secret sect said sinisterly, I want to see how strong you are. As soon as he finished, big elder of secret sect's figure moved and flew towards the immortal's residence. Not long after, there were over 100 figures standing behind him. All of them were from elder of secret sect, and all of them were from God's holy status. Shooting mosquitoes is a waste. Shooting mosquitoes is a waste. In the eyes of the big elder of secret sect, he liked to use this kind of crushing method to solve the problem. Are you very strong? Could a God's holy state elder not handle it? Yes. Then I'll send 100. I won't let you have any chance to make a comeback. All the elders of the secret sect moved out at the same time. It seemed like the news didn't reach Judean's side, but the news of him obtaining the complete annihilation of the crossbow army wasn't slower than the big elder of secret sect. Knowing that the entire elder of secret sect was out, Judean smiled faintly. With everyone present, no matter how powerful Long Fei was, it was useless. Moreover, just at the distance, the wedding procession was about to reach Saint's temple. Judean looked at the sky. The time is almost here. How is it with the young sect master? Judean asked softly. Right now, as long as Ju Yuan was ready, there would be no problem. An old man replied in a low voice, young sect master, everything is ready, the demon tendons are covering your entire body, we have reached a peak, at this time we can trigger the demon tribulation, the power of the demon tribulation will be extremely strong, as long as we succeed in transcending the tribulation, the young sect master's cultivation will undergo a huge change. The fiend god body. This is still the first time in universal realm. 1. Demon god body. Judean couldn't help but become excited. Divine demon body, ha ha ha. At that time, won't the western regions still be under my control? Ha ha ha. Isn't it all my son's stage in Gathering of Heroes? After entering the sky sect of Ling clan and becoming a disciple of Heavenly Palace, the entire western regions would have to prostrate at my feet, ha ha ha. Judean laughed wildly. After today, he didn't have to be afraid of anything anymore. No one could shake his position. Boom, boom, boom. Heavenly Saint Force descended from the sky and bombarded the valley like a bolt of lightning. The elder of secret sects of the God's holy state landed one after another. Disdain could be seen in his eyes. Big elder of secret sect stared at Long Fei, who was slowly walking over, and felt the strong killing intent coming from Long Fei's body. His eyes held extreme disdain. A mere Emperor realm expert dares to act rashly. Kid, you could have lived a few more days, but you didn't know how to cherish it. If that's the case, then go and meet the King of Hell. As soon as he finished. Whoosh, whoosh. 2/3 level Sky Saint Realm Elder of Secret Sects rushed out. His figure was like an illusion, his pressure like a mountain. The moment he neared Long Fei, both of his forces came crashing down towards his mind, and with a single palm, he smashed down straight at Long Fei's Mingmen. Long Fei looked up, and coldly spat out a single word, scram. His right hand descended. The long-handled falchion was in his hands. A martial saint artifact. The saber slashed down. Hualala. Without waiting for the attacks of the two elder of secret sects to fall, Long Fei had arrived later, and directly slashed their bodies into two halves. Ding, ding. The system sounded out. Long Fei didn't care about it. Instead, he stared at the big elder of secret sect and said solemnly, "You have chased us all the way from the secret world to the immortals' residence. I will kill my way back from the immortal world. Those who block me, die." With that said, Long Fei's body leaned forward slightly, his blade dragged on the ground, flames bursting forth. The dense killing intent caused the long-handled falchion to become even more manic. "You overestimate yourself." Big Elder of Secret Sect laughed coldly. "Brat, today I will let you know how high the sky is and how thick the earth is." Roar. With a jolt of his strength, a monster's roar sounded from his body. The clothes on his body were torn apart and strands of needle-like hair grew out. His body turned into that of a beast and his muscles were like granite. In a few seconds, Big Elder of Secret Sect became a black violent bear. He was at least 15 meters tall, and his entire body was emitting a violent aura. Even the surrounding Elder of Secret Sect were stunned. All of their faces were filled with shock. The entire Factory sect knew that the Big Elder of Secret Sect was a black bear that had rarely changed from his cultivation, and he rarely showed his true appearance. Once it was shown, there would be no one left alive. He did not want to waste time with Long Fei. Thus, he liked to shoot mosquitoes with heavy cannons when he was able to unleash his beastly nature. Roar! It suddenly opened its mouth and roared at Long Fei. The sound was like a violent wave, exploding in the ring. The entire valley shook, and a fierce wind raged. It was as if his eardrums were about to burst. "Kid, tremble." Big Elder of Secret Sect took a step forward. Bam! The ground cracked, revealing a half-meter deep footprint. The Big Elder of Secret Sect was originally a Heavenly Sage Stage Level 9 monster, and after taking on the beast form, his cultivation broke through the Overlord realm. The aura on his body was completely different. Violent, with boundless beast power. The muscles on his body were like steel and his hair was like needles, giving people a strong visual impact. By the side, Chu Qing's face became pale white. Both Qin Shuang and Zheng Yuanhang's minds could not take it anymore and their bodies started to tremble uncontrollably. The Big Elder of Secret Sect was too strong. Even before fighting, he already felt like someone was kneeling down and begging for mercy. Long Fei's astral body, boundless sea of consciousness, and mental state, not to mention a level 1 overlord powerhouse, even the might of a peak overlord powerhouse would not affect him in the slightest. He raised his eyes and looked at the gigantic Elder of Secret Sect, his gaze sinister. Bam! In a flash, the dry land was covered with green onions and green onions. He flew straight up into the air, grabbed onto the long-handled falchion with both hands and shouted, "Azure Dragon Sinking Moon Slash." Huala! The blade chi fell vertically, like the heavens were splitting apart. The Big Elder of Secret Sect laughed coldly and said, "With this kind of strength, you can't even hurt a single hair on my head." His body jolted. His muscles bulged, and the hair on his body stood on end. His size doubled, and a thick halo appeared around his body. This was pure defensive strength. A person who had trained his strength to such an extent was still an extremely terrifying existence. The Big Elder of Secret Sect didn't want to attack because he knew clearly that his own defense. The stronger the power of the rebound Long Fei used, the stronger it would be. The knife will break. Long Fei would also be shaken to death, even if he didn't die, his hands would be crippled. In this way, the moment he made his move, Long Fei had no way out. Hualala. Hualala. The blade slashed down on Big Elder of Secret Sect's chest. Bang, bang, bang. At the same time, Long Fei's arms became numb, the center of his palm split open, and fresh blood flowed out. Both of his arms were shaking uncontrollably. The sea of consciousness began to surge. His internal organs seemed to be boiling as they continuously churned. Rumble. After the slash, Long Fei was unable to endure the backlash and was sent flying. The long-handled falchion even more so seemed like it was going to fall off from the blade, only then did it not fly out due to Long Fei's tight grip. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Kid, is that all you have? When Big Elder of Secret Sect saw that Long Fei's arms were not crippled by the shock, his heart tightened but he still laughed coldly in a loud voice. Because He was completely unharmed just now. Abnormal, extremely abnormal defense. The long-handled falchion was a weapon of the martial saint. The long-handled falchion was a weapon of the martial saint. The azure dragon's crescent moon was incomparably domineering. But the combination of these two powers did not harm the big elder of secret sect in the slightest. How abnormal was his defense? Not only that, Long Fei was also injured. If not for his astral body, his arms would really be crippled. Long Fei's eyes tensed up, he stared at the monster. The Great Elder is the Great Elder, he's too powerful. Awesome. Awesome, this power definitely reached the Overlord realm. Kid, go on and fight. A mere trash of the Emperor realm dares to show off. It's better to obediently kneel down and accept your death. Elder of secret sect was boiling. The power that the Great Elder had unleashed was too terrifying. The power of his body formed a defensive layer, and the fur on his body was 1,000 times tougher than steel. What was this situation? Invincible. This was an invincible defense, an existence that was neither injured nor dead. His defense was heaven-defying. If you want the slay. It was too difficult. Big Elder of secret sect laughed disdainfully. Brat, come and kill me. Use your strongest power to kill me. Ha ha ha. He laughed maniacally. He wanted Long Fei to use an even stronger power to attack him, so that way Long Fei would definitely be injured from the shock. Chu Qing immediately said, Long Fei, stop attacking. His defense is too strong, and is able to create a huge backlash. The stronger you are, the more you will hurt yourself. Big Elder of secret sect glared at him. The eyes of the violent bear were huge, just like those of a sinister giant god. Chu Qing's face became even paler. If his body could not withstand it, he would fall to the ground. At the same time, Big Elder of secret sect raised his foot and shouted, shock. He heavily stomped down. Rumble. Rumble. A huge wave swept up from the ground and directly rolled out. With a crashing sound, countless rocks shattered and huge trees that reached the sky were instantly toppled over. Chu Qing, Qin Shuang and Zheng Yuanhang were all sent flying. He fell to the ground, spitting out blood. Big Elder of secret sect laughed disdainfully, you're just an ant. Then he looked at Long Fei and said, Long Fei, you can't even kill me, yet you think you can kill your way to the saint's temple? You should piss on yourself and see what you are like. Fight with the Mr. Celestial? Steal from the young sect master? What qualifications do you have to do so? After today, when you compare yourself to the young sect master, you will be like the sky and the earth. Understood? He mocked him ruthlessly. Come on, come and hit me. Use your strongest strength to hit me. In the distance. Long Fei adjusted his breathing, his heart incomparably calm. With one hand holding the blade, he let out a breath of air. The idea moved, the Tao of heaven. Boom. The entire long-handled falchion started to shine with a golden light. When Big Elder of secret sect saw Long Fei release an even stronger power, his expression tightened for a moment, and thought to himself, as expected, there is still an even stronger power. This is really shocking. However, you are already a dead man. Big Elder of secret sect sneered, come and kill me, ha ha ha. He laughed. He knew that if Long Fei's attack landed, Long Fei would definitely die from the backlash. Heh heh. Chu Qing shouted loudly, don't. Shua. With an explosive sound, Long Fei's figure disappeared. The next second, Long Fei landed in front of Big Elder of secret sect and said coldly, cut. Big Elder of secret sect didn't stop him at all. He laughed excitedly and said, come, ha ha ha. The long-handled falchion descended. A burst of golden light shot out. The only difference was that this move looked soft and weak, as though it had no power at all. However, when the blade landed on Big Elder of secret sect's body, crack, bam, his body suddenly exploded. The defenses on his body were like a piece of furniture, completely ineffective. Elder of secret sect's pupils suddenly tensed, his eyes looked down at his own chest, blood spurted out, his eyes suddenly glared, and with a heavy lifting motion, his two thick arms grabbed towards Long Fei. Long Fei floated in the air motionlessly. It was as if he was fearless. There was a cold smile at the corner of his mouth. Let me see how despicable that person is. Long Fei smiled indifferently. He did not care about grabbing his own arm, and at the moment, he was feeling excited, and thought to himself, damn, I never thought that I would be able to trigger the power of insta-kill. When his blade fell down, the system sounded out. The killing power of the long-handled falchion was triggered. When he looked at the wound on Big Elder of Secret Sect's head again, he saw that the blood loss was several 100 million. Big Elder of Secret Sect's arm that was grabbing him fell down helplessly, his eyes staring straight at Long Fei, as he roared out in dissatisfaction, ah, 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 bam. Its enormous body collapsed. The system sounded out. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Big Elder of Secret Sect for obtaining 100 million experience, 100,000 true spiritual value, and 0 universal value. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the special item Bramble's Armor of the God as soon as the system announcement rang out. Long Fei was also surprised in his heart, and said, no wonder it had such a strong counterattack, it actually had a armor of thorns. Rub. Long Fei moved and said directly, wear it. He immediately put the armor of thorns on. His defense had risen by 1,000 points in an instant. Furthermore, he possessed a special strength, the rebound force. All of the Elder of Secret Sects were stunned, they were all dumbstruck and stared at Long Fei as if they had seen a ghost. Someone was trembling. Someone was retreating. Someone was gulping down his throat. Suddenly, one person let out a blood-curdling screech, and instantly, over 100 Elder of Secret Sects scattered in all directions as if they had seen a flock of fierce beasts sheep. Long Fei smiled, all of you will die. No one can escape. Back then, when all the defense presbyters self-destructed and died, it was all because of these people. Now, Long Fei will not let any of them go. Saint's Temple. Ju Daren's forehead was locked tight. An elder walked over quickly and whispered into his ear, Big Elder of Secret Sect is dead. Ju Daren had felt it just now. He knew what changes had occurred to the Big Elder of Secret Sect, and the Big Elder of Secret Sect was personally raised by him, and the cries of the violent bear just now explained everything. Cluck, cluck. Ju Daren clenched his fists tightly, and his joints burst out loudly. The entire Saint's Temple became gloomy and cold, the killing intent directly suppressing all the noise in the hall. It was extremely uncomfortable, as though a sword was floating above his heart, falling down at any moment, ready to die at any moment. It was also at this time. A voice came from afar. The bride is here. The aura on Ju Daren's body relaxed slightly as he said in a heavy voice, let Lord Sword, Peak Master Fu, Peak Shen Lord, Master of Wu's Peak Lord, and Powder Peak Lord fight together with the eminent Holiness Powerhouse. The time was coming. He could not let anyone disrupt his plans. The time was coming. He could not let anyone disrupt his plans. He couldn't leave either. He had to stay and protect Ju Yuan. However, he was not too worried. With a few great peak owner, even if they could not stop Long Fei, they could at least delay him for a long time. As long as Ju Yuan succeeded in his tribulation when the time came, then Long Fei would definitely be killed no matter how strong he was. There was another reason. Ju Daoren had never attacked Long Fei because he knew that Long Fei was Ju Yuan's inner demon. Passing the demonic tribulation, beheading the heart demon. This would make Ju Yuan stronger after his tribulation. Ju Daoren intentionally left Long Fei with Ju Yuan. Once your tribulation succeeds, no matter how strong you are, you will not be a match for Ju Yuan. He raised his eyes slightly and looked into the distance. The 4 divine beasts pulled a red sedan chair, and the elite disciples of the secret sect stood to the left and right to protect them. Everyone looked at the red sedan chair. The bride is here. The holy maiden is here. The bride is here. We'll be able to see what the bride looks like soon. Where's the groom? In another place. The room was densely packed with bloody skulls that filled half of the room. The floor was filled with dried blood that looked like veins in a person's body. Ju Yuan sat cross-legged, his entire body was wrapped with demon tendons, his skin's surface was filled with dark red veins, His entire person looked extremely terrifying. At the heart. Bang, bang, bang. The dark red heart began to beat. It was the central link of the devil tendons. Zhu Yuan's eyes were bloodshot and his breathing was light. In his mouth was fresh blood that had just been sucked in. At this time. Young sect master, the bride is here. If you're ready, you can come out. The corner of Zhu Yuan's mouth lifted slightly. His eyes moved, and his 5 fingers suddenly grabbed out. The doors and windows were broken. The speaker was directly sucked into the room. Being grabbed by one of Zhu Yuan's hands, he opened his mouth and bit down. Ah! Ah! He let out a few screams, and didn't even have a chance to struggle. His profound qi was quickly sucked dry of his body. Plop, plop. Zhu Yuan's heart started to beat even more intensely. He laughed sinisterly. My devil path is about to reach perfection. Ha ha ha. Then. Zhu Yuan climbed up a set of blood-colored robes and walked out of the room. Sister Li, I'm here. Ha ha ha. Brother Wolf, why didn't we see our boss? What's the situation? Could it be that the news was sent incorrectly? There were countless people congratulating them at the side of the plaza outside the Saint's temple. There were 2 people who were a bit special out there, and the most special thing was not their clothes but their appearance. A man had a hairstyle that was icy cold on one side, fiery red on the other. His hair was a soaring crown, and his clothes were white on one side. The aura exuding from his body was also distinct from ice and fire. The people on the left felt ice-cold while the one on the right felt scorching hot. He appeared particularly conspicuous in the crowd. The other was a young man in white clothes, with white hair, 2 white brows, and white fur all over his body. He gave off a feeling as if he had contracted some sort of illness. He carried a few black spears on his back. The spear seemed as though it had been forged from a dried corpse. It was a shiny golden hue. He muttered, probably not. The elder swordsman said that the cannons would not spread the false news, and look at the scene today. This Saints Hill should at least have a few hundred heavenly Saint Realm experts, and each one of them is on guard, just in case something goes wrong. This is definitely the first level of the Fatry sect's defense. This situation. Something big must have happened, I think. The boss is coming to cause trouble. Of the 2, one was ice and fire, the other was Xiao Bai Lang. In terms of appearance, his transformation was the same as their real face. However, compared to a few months ago, they had become much stronger. Under the guidance of the elder swordsman, they were no longer the original Ice and Fire and Xiao Bai Wolf. Icefire said, "Today is young sect master and Fatry sect's holy maiden's wedding. Could it be that boss is here to snatch the bride? Heh heh. It'll be fun if we snatch the bride." The sounds of fire and ice were not quiet at all. They attracted the ridicule of the people around them. Snatch the bride? Bro, do you guys have water in your heads? Do you know what cultivation the young sect master has? Do you know that this is the Fatry sect? Not to mention your boss, even if your boss's ancestors came, they would only be able to kneel down. TCH. Fire and ice were displeased, anger in their eyes. One eye was about to spit out ice and the other eye was about to spit out flames. The person slightly shrank back, afraid to look at the ice and fire. Just as Bing Hua was about to get angry, Xiao Bai stopped her and asked, "Is Fatry sect very strong? What cultivation does young sect master have?" The man cleared his throat and looked at Bing Hua with a gaze that seemed to look at a bumpkin. He revealed a high and cold expression and said, "Fatry sect is an overlord sect in the entire western regions. They have countless emperor strongmen and tens of thousands of gods holy peakness powerhouse. Just because. There are tens of thousands of heavenly sacred border powerhouse and sect master Jew Mr. Celestial is also overlord realm super powerhouse. His strength can at least enter into the top 10 of western regions. As for young sect master, that's even more so, the number 1 genius of western regions. He is not even 30 years of age yet, and is at the 9th level of the heavenly saint realm. Furthermore, he has comprehended the first sword Tao of the western regions, the profound mysteries of the god Tao. Does the sect master of the devil sect know about the heavenly eye demon sovereign, one of the 3 great powerhouse? Has been defeated by a single slash from the young sect master. Rumor has it that he is the one with the most hope of entering the sovereign realm in western regions. Think about his talent. How strong is his potential? They kept talking about how spittle flew everywhere. Xiao Bai muttered, Overlord realm? It doesn't seem to be enough for one of Elder Swordsman's hands, right? Ice and Fire also had a calm face. The god's holy state can also be called a powerhouse. Their expressions were very calm. He was not the least bit shocked by what he had just said. When the man saw their expressions, he disdainfully sneered, shocked to the point that you can't react, right? So, your boss wants to steal the marriage? Hurry up and tell him to stop or else he won't even know how he died. He thought Xiao Bai and Luohua city mistress were shaken to the core. Xiao Bai said indifferently, Then do you know the name of the immortal destiny holy maiden? The man laughed in disdain, Why don't you know anything? Where did you come from? Damn. Today, I'll give you a piece of science. The immortal destiny holy maiden was the peak owner of the meditation peak. It was said that she only entered the universal realm after breaking through from the lower realms, but her talent was not restricted at all. The tranquil heart curse had cleansed everything, and all these years, she had contributed a lot to the Fatri sect. I heard that she has a very strong body competing in strength. Xiao Bai was slightly taken aback, someone from the lower planes flying to the universal realm? Then what's her name? The man once again sneered and said, You don't even know this. Where the hell did you guys come from? Xiao Bai said, East Imperial City came. A wasteland. Damn, I was just wondering where this bumpkin came from. When the man heard the 3 words East Imperial City, he began to look at Xiao Bai with contempt. The holy maiden is called Shenyuan Li Er. Their eyes immediately darkened. Sister-in-law? In the air above Saints Hill. In the air above Saints Hill. 6 people followed behind Long Fei. Tan Dapao, Su Su, and Lan Mai. The 3 of them had already fused the initial energy of Long Fei's blood essence, so their power was already extraordinary. Chu Qing, Qin Shuang and Zhang Yuanhang followed along. Suddenly, Lan Mai's brows twitched, and he said, Killing intent. Tan Dapao's pupils tightened as he looked into the distance. A black dot shuttled out like lightning and attacked Long Fei. Buzz. Buzz. The humming of the sword cut through the air. A long trail of flames appeared behind the sword. This power was terrifying. The corner of Long Fei's eyes twitched a few times. Lord of Sword Peak Tan Dapao took a step forward, moved his right arm, and fired at the black dot consecutively. Boom, boom. The flying sword was extremely fast. With its high speed, it was unable to lock onto anything, much less hitting anything. But Tan Dapao's cannons continued to hit it. The chance of hitting it was 100%. The black sword was instantly smashed into smithereens. Tan Dapao grinned, looked at his right arm, and excitedly said, Accuracy, strength, and speed have all increased, ha ha ha. Without waiting for him to finish rejoicing, Su Su said softly, So many sword. Boom, boom, boom. The entire sky was filled with black swords, as if it was a scene created by 10,000 arrows shooting at once, all rushing towards Long Fei. Seeing this scene, Chu Qing immediately said, Lord Sword's myriad swords heaven. Qin Shuang said, Brother Long, let's quickly find a place to hide. The Blade Master's move is extremely powerful. Once they get close to us, they won't be able to escape. Zhang Yuanhang also tightly furrowed his brows as he looked at Long Fei. It could be said that he did not even use this kind of power in his last battle against Defense Presbyter. However, this time, he did not hold anything back when going against Long Fei. The reason was simple. Long Fei was already at the end of his road and was basically useless. Now that the Defense Presbyter was dead, with the Fatri sect being controlled by Zhu Daoren, if he still held back, it would be hard to survive in the Fatri sect. Swish, swish, swish. The flying sword shuttled back and forth as though it was a bolt of black lightning rushing towards Long Fei. Long Fei's pupils tightened. Escaping is not my style. As soon as he finished, Tan Dapao and Lan Mai immediately stepped forward and stood by Long Fei's side. Su Su retreated a few steps. The shadow of the big elf tree appeared on his body. The cure was ready any time. Long Fei, it's already too late for Defense Presbyter. What kind of waves can you possibly create? Be obedient and accept your death. The cold voice of the Lord Sword came from afar. At this moment, Tan De Pao and Lan Mai were instantly sent flying. Tan De Pao turned his right arm, boom, boom. His right arm became like a transformer's, turning into an anti-aircraft gun platform. Like an anti-aircraft gun on a ship, he moved the space between his brows, causing a true spirit to surge. 10,000 swords in the sky. TCH. I, your father, am going to destroy the heavens with 10,000 cannon shot. Bang, 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 bang. Rocket-like artillery shells were fired out crazily, directly flying towards Long Fei's 10,000 swords. Lan Mai raised his eyes and a ray of blue light shone from the depths of his eyes. He disappeared. In the next second, he appeared in the middle of the 10,000 swords on the other side. Boom, boom, rumble. Every time he attacked, a flying sword would be chopped off. Damn. Zheng Yuanhang's saliva was even flowing down from the shock. This is a little too fierce, isn't it? You can still play like this, Qin Shuang added. A few months ago in Fairy City, their cultivation was not as good as ours, but now, it's already far, far away from us. His eyes could not help but look at Long Fei, because Qin Shuang knew clearly in his heart that the reason why Tan De Pao and the others could become strong was because of Long Fei. Chu Qing also silently looked at Long Fei at the side, and muttered in his heart, what kind of power does this man possess? Clang, clang. A flying sword fell from the sky. The 10,000 swords simultaneously turned into 10,000 swords falling to the ground. The scene was like a sword rain. Lord Sword was so angry that he started shouting. He had never been in such a sorry state before, when he was about to use his second move. Boom. A golden talisman shot towards the sky. It shot directly into the sun above his head. At this moment, flames covered the sky, and a fiery rain of fire rained down from the sky. The Peak Master Fu sneered, and said, Long Fei, aren't your talisman cultivation strong? I want to see how you're going to break this fiery rain talisman that covered the sky. Rumble, rumble. Fist-sized lava began to pour down from the sky. It was densely packed, and the slightest touch would make it burn up in an instant. Beneath Long Fei's feet was a sea of fire. The towering tree was instantly turned into ashes and the rocks were also set ablaze. This kind of fire was very different. Sun fire. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister. Fire rain talisman? Strong. In my opinion, I'm too weak to withstand a single blow. Long Fei was extremely disdainful. Chu Qing said, this is a divine level talisman. When it is released, it is equivalent to the sun above us connecting together. Long Fei moved his body, controlling his spirit force and taking out the heaven-transforming golden paper that he had used last time. His blood essence moved as he quickly drew an outline on the talisman. Streams of powerful energy were channeled into it. Moreover, swallowing all the power in the surrounding rain of fire. Come out! Long Fei shouted. On his palm, a talisman shot into the air and said, you want to show off this trash? To let you know what a sky full of fire rain is. Fall. Rumble. 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 The fire rain above Long Fei's head was completely engulfed, while the fire dragons above Peak Master Fu on the other side roared, and one after another, fire dragons pounced towards him. It was useless for him to dodge, as in the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of fire dragons had devoured the Peak Master Fu. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Peak Master Fu for obtaining 1 million experience, 100,000 true spiritual value, and 1 universal value. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining. After dropping so many items from semi-artifact, Long Fei didn't even look at them before treating them as trash. The power of his blood essence was too strong. When the blood essence turned into a talisman, Peak Master Fu was instantly killed. The gazes of the other 4 Peak Owners darkened. Then, the Peak Shun Lord looked at Lord Sword and said solemnly, assemble the formation. In that instant, Lord Sword also followed suit, as countless sword images rushed out from his body and floated in the air. Peak Shun's master idea moved, releasing the power of the formation. The sword shadows, one by one, quickly formed into formations under his control. Boom! A person suddenly descended from the sky, landing in the center of the formation. Owner of Beast Hill, the array formation had already been released around Long Fei's body, and he was inside the array formation. The Peak-Shun Lord laughed coldly. Long Fei, the crazy wolf is the eye of the formation. If we break the formation, he would instantly die, and if we don't break the formation, you guys die. Let's see who dies in the end, ha ha ha. The crazy wolf landed in the center of the array, its entire body dripping with blood. The crazy wolf landed in the center of the array, its entire body dripping with blood. The moment he landed, the array started to activate. Just as the Peak-Shun Lord had said, the entire array's power came from the crazy wolf's body. He was the core of the formation. If he wanted to break through the array, he had to destroy the formation aperture. Even if he didn't destroy it, if he forced it apart, it would still be destroyed. Breaking the formation, the crazy wolf dies. If he did not break the array, Long Fei would not be able to leave. This move could be said to be extremely vicious. The crazy wolf let out a painful and hoarse voice, and said, Long Fei, you don't need to worry about me. Quickly, quickly, go save the holy maiden. There's no more time, quickly. The crazy wolf wanted to commit suicide by letting the formation self-destruct, but it was impossible for him to do so now. His body was already restricted, he did not even have the strength to commit suicide. The roar of sky touching died. He was captured by several peak owners. In just 3 short days, he had turned from a strong man into an old man with a head full of white hair. Even if the current him were to survive, he wouldn't be able to live for long. Long Fei secretly furrowed her brows. She stared coldly at the Peak-Shun Lord in the distance and asked, Threatened me? The Peak-Shun Lord laughed complacently. Ha ha ha. I'm just threatening you, what's wrong? Long Fei, aren't you very capable? Break the formation. I would like to see how you'll break through this life and death formation, ha ha ha. The formation was known as the life and death formation. In this life, one death. No matter what, there would always be one person who would die. Furthermore, with the power of Lord Sword's sword truth, this formation was even more powerful. Boss, what should we do? Tan De Pao's expression sank, and lowered her voice. How about I snipe at him? With a turn of his right arm, the mechanical arm instantly transformed into a heavy sniper. Long Fei shook his head lightly, sensing the surrounding sword images, and said, We are already inside the formation. A slight movement would attract the formation's attention. Then, Lan Mai was slightly anxious as he said, We don't have time now. Long Fei, don't worry about me, just kill me. Kill me. He was the most anxious one, and he had already completely disregarded life and death. The Peak-Shun Lord laughed out loud, Right, even if we kill him, once he dies, the 10,000 swords will return to his soul and his primordial spirit will shatter into pieces. When that happens, he won't be able to use transcendence, ha ha ha. Long Fei, quickly kill him. Lord Sword could not help but laugh out loud, Peak-Shun Lord, your move is too powerful. The Peak-Shun said, Long Fei has a very heavy aura, and can be said to be a boorish person. However, due to his deep friendship, the crazy wolf did not hesitate to make an enemy out of the Fatry sect in order to save him. How can Long Fei watch him die at a time like this? The crazy wolf will not die, and the formation will not be broken. Long Fei will be waiting to suffer in the life and death array. Once the time is over, Sect Master will settle things there, and then, it will be his doomsday. Ha ha ha. The Peak-Shun Lord laughed excitedly. It was just that. Long Fei's footsteps moved, and without hesitation, he shouted, Enter the array. He was very determined. The Peak-Shun Lord laughed, Quickly go and kill the crazy wolf, ha ha ha. Once Long Fei entered the array, the life and death array also started to operate. Countless sword images continued to rumble at Long Fei, and every sword image would take up all of the profound spirit chi in the crazy wolf's body. Exhausting profound chi was an extremely painful process for crazy wolf. Come. Long Fei, come and kill me. The profound chi was being extracted non-stop from the crazy wolf's body, as if it was sucking out his bone marrow. The pain was so excruciating that no one was able to take care of themselves, but he could not even bite it, as if he did not feel any pain. Ha ha ha. Owner of Beast Hill, are you in pain? Just scream in pain, why are you enduring it? Ha ha ha. The sect master treats you so well, I won't kill you, but now, you're going to die in Long Fei's hands. You have to know that if it wasn't for you, you wouldn't even be alive right now. Now he wants to kill you, ha ha ha. Is this retribution? The Peak Shun Lord said in a loud voice, as he wanted to cause Long Fei to fall into a struggle. This caused him incomparable pain. However, Long Fei took a very determined step, and did not feel any pain because of Peak Shun's words at all. The Lord Sword laughed coldly. I had thought that you, Long Fei, was a person who valued friendship and kindness so much, but it turns out you're just a cold-blooded beast. Long Fei was not moved. Lord Sword said in a low voice, Peak Shun Lord, what if Long Fei really kills the crazy wolf? At this time, Master of Wu's Peak shouted, what are you afraid of? It's just a mere Emperor Realm cultivator, why would we be afraid of him? If I were to say that I will directly remove the formation and kill him, Master of Wu's Peak was extremely disdainful. The Peak Shun Lord laughed coldly, and said, don't worry, you think you can break the formation after killing the crazy wolf? Then you're underestimating my life and death array. Isn't it? Master of Wu's Peak was also stunned. The Peak Shun Lord laughed, if a crazy wolf dies, the formation would indeed break, but once the crazy wolf dies, it will produce a strong explosion of power. Do you think a mere Long Fei can withstand the explosion of a heavenly sacred realm powerhouse? After he finished speaking, the Peak Shun Lord laughed sinisterly. This life and death array was incomparably sinister. A sharp light flashed in the eyes of both Lord Sword and Lord Sword as they thought at the same time, in the future, if there's nothing else, do not provoke this lunatic. Who would have thought that the death of the crazy wolf was a self-detonation? They had all seen the might of Defense Presbyter self-destructing. Any heavenly saint realm powerhouse that got close to it would be blown to smithereens, and Long Fei, who was only at the Emperor realm, would be directly smashed to smithereens. Geo. Peak Shun Lord, you're really high. This move of yours is too powerful. Ha ha ha. The three of them burst out laughing at the same time. In the life and death formation, what was strong was not the formation, nor the attacks from the swords that kept on resonating towards Long Fei, but life and death. Boom. 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 Long Fei moved like lightning and quickly passed through, quickly arriving at the center of the formation. The Peak Shun Lord squinted his eyes and said excitedly, watch out, the good show is about to start. The Lord Sword laughed, Long Fei, kill the crazy wolf, ha ha ha. In the center of the formation, the crazy wolf said, Long Fei, kill me and you will be able to break this life and death array. There is no other way. He did not know that this formation would cause him to self-destruct. Long Fei looked at Crazy Wolf and said, for those who have helped me, I, Long Fei, will repay them 100 times. The Crazy Wolf was stunned for a moment, then said, I do not need you to repay me. The last time I took action, it was because I did not like what they did. Don't think that I was saving you, quickly kill me. Long Fei did not care about what the Crazy Wolf said, and continued to speak, I have enemies, and they will not stop until I die. As soon as he finished, a drop of Long Fei's blood essence floated from his palm. The idea moved. The blood essence directly entered the Crazy Wolf's mouth. The blood essence fell. The Crazy Wolf's entire body shone with a red light. Boom. With an explosive sound, all the shackles on his body were immediately broken. The power of the formation began to tremble, and the Crazy Wolf's eyes sank. The next second. Boom. Boom. 2 consecutive explosions occurred in his body. Rumble. Overlord power poured in. The Crazy Wolf's pupils suddenly shrank, and shouted, break for me. Boom. The magic array shattered and fell to the ground. A life and death array? It was just a drop of blood essence. If there was kindness, it would be repaid 100-fold. If there was kindness, it would be repaid 100-fold. He had a grudge, kill him. A drop of blood essence caused the energy within the Crazy Wolf to undergo a tremendous change. The shackles of energy on its body instantly broke through, and it directly broke through to the Overlord realm. Releasing the Overlord power, he broke through the power Peak Shun had exerted on his body. The formation was destroyed. Long Fei's blood essence possessed immense power. However, after using 4 drops of blood essence in an instant, Tan De Pao and the other 2, Long Fei felt a little dizzy. Black and White said lightly, "Your blood essence is indeed very strong, but it is not unlimited. It will not be beneficial to you if you use too much of it. Let me remind you." The tone of Black and White was very flat. It did not sound very important. However, if his blood essence was overused, Long Fei's own strength would be weakened. Very deadly. Black and White just didn't want to give Long Fei any pressure, nor did they want him to change his mind. He could not interfere with Long Fei's choice. The more he intervened, the more difficult it would be for Long Fei in the future. The old demon lightly said, "Old demon, why didn't you clearly explain to him that if he continues to waste energy like this, it will greatly hinder his future cultivation? Blood essence is profound qi. The more it is consumed, the less it will be in the future. The less profound qi, the harder it is to break through later." Black and White said, "This is his path. Everything will be taken by him. I believe he understands the meaning of my words." The old demon said no more. Long Fei replied, "Thank you for the reminder, I understand." At this time, the crazy wolf broke through its shackles, and its figure flashed. Rumble. He landed right in front of the Peak Shun Lord, his eyes like a beast, staring straight at the Peak Shun Lord. "Peak Shun Lord, I have always been good to you, your beasts are all caught by me. Do you really wish for me to die that much? Set up a formation within my primal? You want me to self-destruct? Aren't you a little too damn ruthless?" The Peak Shun was trembling from fear. The pressure from the Overlord realm's strength had overwhelmed him to the point where he was unable to breathe. With a face full of shock, he looked at the Crazy Wolf and said, "Brother Crazy Wolf, I was also forced to such an extent. If I don't do this, the Mr. Celestial won't spare me, so..." His eyes suddenly became gloomy. Under his robe, he struck out with his palm. The power of true spirit on his 5 fingers linked together, forming a mini-seal formation. 5 elements thunder. "Seal it for me." He struck towards the Crazy Wolf's abdomen with his palm and laughed sinisterly. "Crazy Wolf, kneel down obediently and accept your death, ha ha ha." However, the Crazy Wolf's eyes widened as both of its palms moved. Both of his palms directly struck the Peak Shun Lord's temples. Boom. His eyeballs exploded, blood spurted out from his mouth and nose. His sea of consciousness shattered, his primordial spirit shattered, and he instantly died. This move was too ferocious. The strength of an overlord could completely crush him. Lord Sword and Master of Wu's Peak quickly retreated, and their gazes met. Boom. Boom. The sword shadows moved, the 10,000 sword beams behind Lord Sword flashed. The Master of Wu's Peak also seemed to be possessed by a beast. As their body grew larger, the 2 of them attacked the Crazy Wolf from both sides. The Crazy Wolf clenched her fists, "Considering the fact that we are from the same sect, as long as all of you stop right now, I'll spare your lives." Crazy Wolf missed old friendships a lot. However, Long Fei squinted his eyes. Although the Crazy Wolf would not kill them, Long Fei would not let them off. The death of Defense Presbyter was to use their blood to wash it clean. "Crazy Wolf, spare us? Humph. Who do you think you are? Do you think that just because you've broken through to the Overlord realm, you're so incredible? You should think about it. If you still have a choice, we'll give you another chance." If not waiting for them to finish, the Crazy Wolf's mind sank, and from its body came a wolf's roar. Boom. His entire body flew out. Master of Wu's Peak looked at Crazy Wolf and said heavily, "Lord Sword, it's all up to you." Boom. The power inside Master of Wu's Peak's body exploded out, all ranks. Boom, boom, boom. A series of explosions occurred. Each explosion was like a stream of energy being poured into the Master of Wu's Peak, turning him into a 100-meter thick wall. Lord Sword's gaze turned sinister. "Just watch, whoosh whoosh whoosh. Asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh. Asterisk." The 10,000 swords moved, and even the Lord Sword himself transformed into a transformed sword. 10,000 swords, converge in the sky. Sword dragon. The sword converged, directly condensing into a gigantic sword dragon. Lord Sword stood on top of the sword dragon's head, as the sword dragon roared out, roar. The dragon's roar shook the air. Lord Sword's gaze locked onto Long Fei, and he said solemnly, "Brat, go to hell." Roar. Swinging its draconic tail, it swooped down. The crazy wolf's eyes tightened. Crap. He wanted to turn around and protect Long Fei, but... However, he was firmly stopped by the master of Wu's Peak and he laughed sinisterly. "Crazy wolf, your opponent is me," Tan Dapao shouted. "Boss, be careful." He stretched out his arm and bombarded the huge dragon that was diving down. However, the sword dragon's body seemed to have a thick defensive shield, which Tan Dapao's cannons were unable to break through. Lan Mai's figure moved, directly transforming into a dazzling blue light as he flew out. Long Fei raised his eyes slightly, looked at the ferocious sword dragon, his lips curled up slightly, and laughed coldly. "You call this a dragon? You are simply insulting the dragon." His right arm sank. "Catcher, catcher." Clenching his fists tightly, Long Fei's body shot straight to the sky. "I'll let you have a taste of the Ashura's Tao." The idea moved. The power of the Ashura surged. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Red light filled the sky. Just like a red purgatory world was above Long Fei's fist, it ruthlessly smashed down towards the descending sword dragon. Rumble, rumble, rumble. His fist tore through the air as his figure followed suit. Long Fei immediately passed through the sword dragon's mouth. Lord Sword was also falling down from the sky like a kite with its string cut. He looked at Long Fei with dissatisfaction in his eyes. Why? He was a level 9, Heavenly Saint powerhouse. Training the way of the sword to a realm where there was no one around. The myriad swords of Qi Tian was a great move that he had comprehended over the course of 100 years. However, one punch on the sleigh. It was as if his strength was like an ant in front of Long Fei. The power in Long Fei's fist made him see an endless purgatory. It was like an Azura king's fist had punched his heart. It was incomparably painful. Rumble. Lord Sword fell onto the ground. Long Fei landed heavily and immediately stood in front of Lord Sword. The Lord Sword trembled lightly, looked at Long Fei and said, "Long Fei, don't kill me, I'm willing to submit to you, I'm willing to become your slave. As long as you spare my life, I'm willing to do anything for you." Long Fei said coldly, "Why didn't you give them the chance to see the defense presbyter self-destruct that day?" Lord Sword's pupils tightened as he said, "That day, it was Mr. Celestial who wanted their lives." I. Not waiting for him to finish. Long Fei moved, and with a single step, he pierced through Lord Sword's body along with the primordial spirit in his spirit sea, and shattered it with a single punch. The defense presbyter primordial spirit shattered. The defense presbyter primordial spirit shattered. They will be the same. Long Fei would not give them the slightest of chances. Jealous of evil. He, Lord Sword, is dead. Master of Wu's Peak's pupils tightened. At this moment, his heart was trembling. He could not handle a single crazy wolf. If not for the fact that the crazy wolf had just broken through to the Overlord realm and had not cultivated the Overlord power hastily, he would have died a long time ago. Long Fei flew up into the air again, causing Master of Wu's Peak's heart to immediately tremble. His figure moved. He turned around and rushed in the direction of the 1,000 temples. "Stop him! Stop him! I must stop him. Sect Master has ordered, if you meet Long Fei, kill him immediately." The Master of Wu's Peak roared out, but he himself had to flee in an extremely sorry state. The crazy wolf wanted to give chase, but Long Fei said, "No need to give chase, he won't be able to escape." Both of his eyes looked in the direction of the Saint's temple, and the killing intent in Long Fei's eyes was extremely strong. "Ju Daoren, Ju Yuan, wash yourself clean and wait for me to burst out." Boom, boom, boom. Asterisk from the distance, a series of rumbling sounds could be heard. Thousands of God's holy peakness powerhouses flew out at the same time. They were all first-rate powerhouses. It was also the strongest power in the Factory sect. They all rushed out from the Saint's temple towards Long Fei. The crazy wolf's eyes tightened, looked towards Long Fei, and said, Long Fei, they are the cornerstone of the factory sect, the strongest power in our factory sect. They have only been bewitched by Zhu Daoren, can you? The reason the factory sect had become an overlord of a sect was because of this eminent holiness powerhouse. If not for them, factory sect would not have been able to hold on, even with the support of a few powerhouses. The Holy Abyss ruins relied on his cultivation, and they relied on his strength. If these tens of millions of sacred powerhouse were gone, then the factory sect would also be halved. However, without waiting for the crazy wolf to finish speaking, Long Fei took a step forward. With the long-handled falchion in his hand, he coldly said, Those who block me, die. He would not show mercy. Absolutely not. Because when they chased after Defense Presbyter, they did not show any mercy either. Long Fei, die. Boom. With a palm attack, the black wind immediately covered Long Fei's entire body. Long Fei moved and slashed down, catcher. His body split into two, fresh blood splattering onto Long Fei's body. He did not even blink his eyes as the system sounded out, ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 80 million experience points, 60,000 true spiritual value, and 1 universal value. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining. Seeing one of them being split into two, the other Heavenly Saint Realm powerhouses did not retreat at all, and even more of them pounced towards Long Fei. The crazy wolf shouted loudly, Don't throw your lives away, all of you stop. You are not his opponent, all of you stop. Humph. Crazy wolf, you traitor. The Mr. Celestial treats you well, yet you make yourself an enemy of the factory sect for a trash. You won't be able to escape death today. Kill. A large group of people rushed towards the crazy wolf. It could be said that they had released all kinds of powerful moves, and all of them were killing moves. They wanted the crazy wolf to die. Boom, boom. At first, the crazy wolf still avoided it and showed mercy. However, he has a temper. After getting messed with for a while, his eyes flashed with anger. You guys are done. Rumble. He released the aura of an overlord and sent a large wave of energy flying out. If all of you continue to be so stubborn, don't blame me for being impolite. Not waiting for him to finish. You're being impolite. Aren't you, Curtis? Kill. He was like a lunatic as he crazily charged forward. However, Long Fei did not care that much. Killing one after another, using the Martial Saint equipment combined with Long Fei's star power, it was simply invincible. These elementary Heavenly Saint powerhouses were not their match at all. One cut, one kill. If they came, they would die. If it died, so be it. Experience points of less than 10 million, even though it wasn't a lot, it was thousands of Heavenly Sacred Realm powerhouse, that was tens of billions of experience. How could a few experience points be wasted? Kill. Broken limbs flew everywhere. Fresh blood splattered from the air like rain on the ground. The entire forest was dyed blood red, as if it had been refined into hell. Ghastly. Terrifying. Unceasing to charge, Long Fei continued to kill. Ding, ding, ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Ding. The system beep never stopped. Long Fei's entire body was drenched in blood, his eyes were red from killing, but the killing intent on his body did not diminish at all. Instead, it became even stronger. Boom, boom, boom. Tan Dapao's body opened up a path, but did not kill, and only crippled him. Lan Mai guarded on the other side of Long Fei. Chu Qing, Qin Shuang, and Zheng Yuanhang followed behind Long Fei. Looking at his back, the three of them had expressions of astonishment, and were no longer able to speak. The crazy wolf felt sad, but he did not stop. He knew. Henceforth, there would be no factory sect left in the western regions. No matter how strong Zhu Daoren was, no matter how much stronger he broke through his shackles, he would still become an overlord realm powerhouse. Without the support of these gods' holy peakness powerhouse, it would be difficult for him to stand his ground in the western regions. It's over. It's all over. The factory sect that has stood for 10,000 years is finally going to end today. The crazy wolf was laughing bitterly in her heart, but at the same time, her heart was filled with rage. Ju Daoren, oh Ju Daoren, this is all because of you. Saint's Temple. Master of Wu's Peak fled back in an extremely sorry state. Countless people in the plaza began to discuss when they saw his miserable appearance. What happened? Isn't that the Fatri sect from Fatri sect? Why are you in such a sorry state? Could it be that C's sect has called over? No, C's sect lost in her last fight with Fatri sect, and she still dares to come over to fight. In the main hall, when Ju Daoren saw Master of Wu's Peak's miserable expression, the space between his brows tightened. Clenching his fists tightly, a sinister light flashed in his eyes. Master of Wu's Peak said, Sect Master, we can't hold on. Owner of Beast Hill has already broken through Overlord Realm. Lord Sword, Peakshan Lord, Peak Master Fu is already. Boom. Ju Daoren suddenly stood up, his eyes staring straight at Master of Wu's Peak. Overlord's domination. Master of Wu's Peak's face instantly turned pale, he kneeled on the ground, and didn't dare to say a single word. He could already see the killing intent in Ju Daoren's eyes. One more word and his head would be gone. If not for the many foreign guests in the hall, Ju Daoren would have already made his move. Ju Daoren walked down the stairs, looked into the distance, and said darkly, a mere Long Fei actually injured so many of me. Cluck, cluck, cluck. The joints exploded. If not for wanting to protect Ju Yuan, he would have been unable to endure it any longer. It was also at this time that a steward walked to the door of the Great Hall and said softly, reporting to Mr. Celestial, the time has come. The time has come. The time has come. As soon as he finished speaking, Ju Daoren's heart sank. Forcefully suppressing his anger, he said with a heavy voice, Welcome, bride. Where's the young sect master? One of the elder of secret sect replied in a low voice, The young sect master is in the side hall. And young sect master has prepared everything. Ju Daoren said, All right, the wedding will begin. The hour had arrived, and this was the best time of the day. At noon, he asked about the time of the execution. At the same time, this was also the time when the demonic intent was at its strongest. The stronger he was, the stronger he would become after his tribulation. In any case, he didn't need to go through the tribulation on his own, as long as Shenyuan Li was there, and as long as he didn't act rashly, Ju Yuan would definitely succeed in passing through the tribulation. There was also another Long Fei. Ju Daoren understood clearly in his heart that the god's holy peakness powerhouse was something that the middle class of Fatri sect could resist. The more they die, the more impact they would have on the Fatri sect. If the 10,000 holy light was used, then even if Ju Yuan succeeded in his tribulation, the Fatri sect would still be severely injured. Furthermore, there were currently no Holy Abyss Ruins who wanted to quickly cultivate the god's holy peakness powerhouse. Welcome to the bride. We bow to the heavens and the earth. With that, the entire hall and plaza turned silent. In the distance, the 8 elder of secret sects were dressed in rune robes and carried red palanquins. With each step they took, they landed in the middle of the saint's temple. When he landed, a maid rushed forward, opened the curtain, and respectfully said, Miss Holy Maiden, we are leaving the palanquin. Shenyuan Li walked out of the sedan with his head down. Her tears had gone. He stood on the spot. The sedan was carried away by the 4 elder of secret sects. The other 4 elder of secret sects stood by Shenyuan Li's side to protect him, the Azure Dragon, Vermilion Bird, White Tiger and Black Tortoise. Please, bridegroom. In a side hall, a man dressed in a blood-red robe walked out. His eyes were dark red and his face was pale. The veins beneath his skin were moving gently like earthworms. However, no one noticed it from a distance. Only Ju Daoren's pupils secretly shrank. He was even more excited in his heart. The demonic insects are making their move, it's the best time to do so. Ju Yuan took a step forward. A beautiful figure floated in the air as an incomparably powerful energy surged, directly enveloping the entire plaza. Everyone's heart sank. Evil powers began to grow crazily in their bodies. Ju Daoren's eyes changed, he immediately coughed. Cough cough. Immediately, his overbearing power of an overlord was released, and it directly blocked Zhu Yuan's devouring aura. Before succeeding in his tribulation, Zhu Yuan had to be careful in everything. If he succeeded in his tribulation, Zhu Daoren would not care about all this, even if all the ants on the plaza had their essence absorbed by Zhu Yuan. In the eyes of the powerhouse, the weak were ants, and their lives were like that of a roasted dog. Zhu Yuan's face turned sinister, he stared straight at Zhu Daoren, and laughed sinisterly. Old thing, wait till I finish my demon tribulation before coming to touch you. Demons did whatever they wanted. Arrogant and unbridled, he was not subject to any pressure or restrictions. To dare to interrupt his power, Zhu Yuan was naturally unhappy. Zhu Yuan walked to Shenyuan Lier's side, stuck close to Shenyuan Lier's ear and inhaled deeply. Phew. What an intoxicating fragrance. Shenyuan Lier's mind shook, and his eyes also suddenly opened wide in anger. Demon? She, who had always cultivated the tranquil heart curse, was stronger than anyone else in sensing the power of the demonic intent. In an instant, she could sense the incomparably strong demonic intent in Zhu Yuan's body. Zhu Yuan laughed sinisterly. You're right, I am the demon, and the devil is me. Shenyuan Li slightly moved. However, Zhu Yuan almost reached right next to Shenyuan Li's ear, and said sinisterly, if you dare move even a bit, Long Fei will die, hey. Shenyuan Li's body stiffened. Zhu Yuan's pupils tightened even more as his killing intent became even more intense. The devil fire within his body began to churn as he coldly laughed. I never thought that he would actually be someone you have been waiting for 100 years. Don't worry, I will definitely take good care of him, ha ha ha. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Zhu Yuan started to hate Long Fei even more. Although it was hidden behind the veil, Shenyuan Li could feel the killing intent coming off Zhu Yuan's body, causing her to become extremely worried. Big brother Long Fei. And then, Shenyuan Li said in a low voice, Zhu Yuan, your father promised me that he would let Long Fei go. Humph. That old thing, if it wasn't for him, would I have become like this? Ever since I was young, I had been treated as his test subject. All sorts of blood vein energy surged into my body, turning me into a monster. I hate him more than anyone else. When I succeed in transcending tribulation, the first one I'll kill will be him. Zhu Yuan had always hated his father. His talent was average, and so was his martial arts training's potential. Zhu Daoren had already known about this from the moment he was in his mother's stomach, and because of that, when he was still in his mother's womb, Zhu Daoren had already thought of all sorts of ways to make him stronger, change his fate, and change his talent, the blood vein. So his mother died in childbirth. Even so, Zhu Daoren still treated Zhu Yuan like a mouse in front of him without any regret. All kinds of powerful powers, blood vein, no matter if he could handle it or not, would be channeled into his body. Since he was young, he swore that he would become stronger than his father, and the first person he would kill would be his father. Because of this, he tried his best to restrain himself. He would do his best to hold on to everything. Now, as long as he succeeded in transcending the tribulation, he would be able to achieve this goal. Shenyuan Li was shocked, and immediately said, without me, you wouldn't be able to pass through this demon tribulation. My strength can help you block everything. Zhu Yuan sneered and said, what do you want to say? Shenyuan Li said, I want you to let Long Fei go, I will help you take on all the magic dark forces and then? Zhu Yuan continued to laugh coldly. Shenyuan Li replied, there's no following. Zhu Yuan laughed, I promise you, since you will die after your tribulation, I can still kill Long Fei. Shenyuan Li panicked and said, you. Zhu Yuan said, little sister Li, you have no choice, you can't threaten me, the people I, Zhu Yuan, want to kill, no one can stop. Heh. Are you sure you can control it? As soon as he finished, the power in Shenyuan Li's mind suddenly sunk as a devil will emerged, laughing crazily with incomparable evilness. He had been controlled. Zhu Yuan laughed coldly, ha ha ha. Negotiate with me? You are not qualified. Then, Zhu Yuan looked at the wedding host and said, what are you standing there for? Let's begin. Zhu Daoren also noticed that Zhu Yuan was different, but he did not care. He only wanted Zhu Yuan to succeed in his tribulation. The wedding host looked at Zhu Daoren, then looked at the Holiness Plaza and revealed a professional smile. He said, "Before the wedding, we still have to go through the process and ask everyone, is there anyone who objects? Just a formality. Who would object? Who would dare object?" Everyone quieted down. At this moment, a man in white clothes walked out and said, "I object." The corners of Zhu Yuan's eyes went cold. "You're courting death. You're courting death. You're courting death." Zhu Yuan turned and glared at the man in white. The murderous light in his eyes was like a mountain. His aura surged as he released layer after layer of his aura. However, the white-clothed man's expression didn't change at all. He didn't reveal any pain just because of his aura. It was very relaxed. A faint smile flowed from the relaxed corner of his mouth. Ridicule? Cluck, cluck. The air around Zhu Yuan seemed to shatter as creaking sounds came out. Shenyuan Li was startled. Who is it? She had never heard this voice before, so she dared to conclude that it wasn't Long Fei. She did not have any friends or family members in the Universal Realm. Since she entered the Universal Realm, who would stand up for her? One must know that he had offended the Fatry sect. Zhu Daren's eyes also tensed up. The host immediately asked, "Why do you object?" Everyone looked at him. The white-clothed man once again walked forward a few steps, looked at Shenyuan Li and said, "Because she is my eldest sister-in-law." What sister-in-law? The host was a little confused. The surrounding people were also confused, unable to understand what was going on. Where did this kid come from? Is he crazy? Is this person tired of living? Sister-in-law? Who's his big brother? Many people started whispering to each other. The man in white walked forward unhurriedly, and said to Shenyuan Li "Sister-in-law, let's go, no one can bully you." As he spoke, he was about to walk to Shenyuan Li's side. Zhu Yuan's gaze was filled with intense killing intent. Shenyuan Li asked, "You have the wrong person, I am not your sister-in-law." She could feel that the aura of the man in white was that of a beast spirit and was very unfamiliar. She was sure that she had never seen this man before. The host quickly said, "Did you hear that? You got the wrong person. Hurry up and leave." The gazes of the four elder of secret sects beside Shenyuan Li locked onto the white-clothed man, and they said solemnly, "Did you hear that? You didn't recognize the wrong person. Get out of my way. Be ready for battle." As long as the white-robed man took a few more steps forward, they would make their move. The white-clothed man stopped and said, "I'm not mistaken. Perhaps you've never seen me before, but I've heard of you. I'm sure you're my elder sister-in-law." Zhu Yuan's face became more and more unsightly. Zhu Daren's eyes moved slightly. One of the elder of secret sect's body moved, landing in front of the white-clothed man, and said, "You don't understand human speech, right? If you don't understand what I'm saying, then go down and listen to some nonsense." Boom. His palm sank, and his strength exploded forth. Without giving the man in white time to react, his palm struck the man in white's chest. Rumble. His strength was incomparably thick. Powerhouse of the 7th level of the Heavenly Saint realm, suddenly exerting strength at close distance. The power of this move, even powerhouse of the same level would not be able to withstand it, and died on the spot. But the white-clothed man didn't move an inch as a palm mark was left on the white clothes on his chest. He lightly patted the dust on his body and didn't even glance at elder of secret sect. He completely ignored them. This elder of secret sect's face suddenly became ugly. He stared at the white-clothed man in shock. The crowd went into an uproar. He's still alive. Who is this person? Is he a human or a ghost? 6th level Heavenly Saint powerhouse, breaking through 100,000 mountains with a single strike. He actually didn't even budge an inch. Do you think he didn't exert any strength at all with that palm strike? Isn't it too strange? The crowd burst into discussion. Elder of secret sect's eyes turned sinister. He screamed out a few times, and his palm shot out like lightning, chopping down crazily. Bang, bang, bang. Each palm strike was as swift as a thunderbolt, and the formation rumbled loudly. However, the white-clothed youth stood tall and unmoving, like a boulder. Forget about dying, he didn't even have a single wound. Elder of Secret Sect's scalp was starting to numb. He felt that he didn't need to hit the white-clothed man with every palm strike. But why wasn't he hurt? Hoo. Elder of Secret Sect was panting slightly, not because he was tired but because he was anxious. Are you done yet? The man in white replied blandly. When he saw so many handprints on his snow-white clothes, he couldn't help but be annoyed. Damn you, are you trying to make me look like this after so much trouble? F***CK. With eyes filled with fury, he struck his palm towards Elder of Secret Sect's face. Hualala. Elder of Secret Sect's head continuously spun around his neck, and only after a few rounds did he come to a stop. The skin on his neck was twisted into a blur, and his eyes were unfocused as he furiously glared at Yu Yang. Blood kept gushing out of his mouth. One palm. Instant kill. The whole scene became chaotic, and many people turned pale with fright. The other three Elder of Secret Sects instantly charged towards the white-clothed man and surrounded him. The corner of Zhu Yuan's mouth curled up slightly as he stared at the man in white with some excitement. He killed Elder of Secret Sect. Killing people on Factory Sect's territory? How much does he want to die? Isn't he the one from East Imperial City? Isn't the East Imperial City a wasteland? Is there such a powerhouse? Isn't this too arrogant? Many people looked at the white-clothed man. In their eyes, even if the white-clothed man killed Elder of Secret Sect with one palm strike, he was still a dead man. Zhu Daoren said indifferently, "Friend, the person who has come is a guest, there must be some misunderstanding. Today is the day of my big wedding, I hope that you can give me some face. After the wedding, I will definitely give you a big gift, what do you think?" Causing trouble at this critical juncture, Zhu Daoren endured it. The time had come, he could not allow anyone to disrupt his plans. First things first, then things second. They would settle the debt together after Zhu Yuan had completed his tribulation. A generous gift. Sending you to the underworld is more like it. The white-robed man said, "There's no misunderstanding, she is my sister-in-law. I don't care if you have me, my dog, or Factory Sect's secret sect. If you dare have any ideas about my sister-in-law, then go to hell." The corners of Zhu Daoren's eyes twitched, and with a cold voice, he said, "It looks like you have to go against the Factory Sect. Have you thought about the consequences? If you leave now, then I will let bygones be bygones. If you take another inch, then don't blame me for being impolite. Come. You're welcome. Lousy likes to be rude. If you're courteous, I won't be happy." The white-robed man was very valiant. Zhu Daoren clenched both of his fists tightly, and with a cracking sound, the might of an overlord surged out. Shenyuan Li immediately said, "I'm really not your sister-in-law, you have the wrong person. You should hurry up and leave." She was worried that the white-clothed man would die innocently because of her. Zhu Daoren was already infuriated. If he wanted to make a move, the white-clothed man would definitely not be able to stop him. The man in white smiled, "Sister-in-law, I won't recognize the wrong person. You are my sister-in-law. Even though boss is not here, I won't allow anyone to bully you. Right. I forgot to tell you, I'm always yelling at Long Fei. I keep on shouting Long Fei. I keep on shouting Long Fei." The white-clothed man was naturally Xiao Bailang. As soon as he finished, the people of Factory Sect quieted down. Master of Wu's Peak's expression changed. Zhu Yuan's expression was also slightly sluggish for a bit. Zhu Daoren's pupils sank, and shrank like a grain of wheat. The killing intent in his heart grew stronger, and after a deep sigh, he asked, "What did you say just now that your elder was shouting for?" Shenyuan Li was also startled as he turned around to look at the white-clothed man. "Can't you hear me?" Xiao Bai laughed coldly, his gaze sweeping across the surroundings as he said, "Listen well, all of you." The sound suddenly grew louder. "My boss name is Long Fei." It was almost a roar. Long Fei's two words shook the heavens and spread far and wide. The two words Long Fei unceasingly reverberated in the air above the Saints' Hill. To Xiao Bai, the name Long Fei meant the word that he was most proud of, the person he was most proud of. Looking at the stupefied expressions of those people, Xiao Bai laughed. He's a man who wants to stand at the top of this world. Remember his name. In the future, when you hear his name, be proud and trembling with pride. Ha ha ha. He began to laugh maniacally. However, he laughed alone. At this time, Zhu Daoren stared at him with gloomy eyes, her killing intent soaring to the skies. Zhu Yuan looked at him with a sinister smile. Master of Wu's Peak stared at him coldly. Disciples of secret sect and the elders stared at him unwaveringly, as if they were facing a great enemy. Killing intent wreaked havoc in the plaza. Those who had a lower cultivation could not withstand such a powerful killing intent and found it hard to breathe. Xiao Bai Lang felt the killing intent, but laughed coldly, looking disdainful. Shenyuan Liya said, "Big brother Long Fei. Is he here? Who are you? How come I don't know you?" Xiao Bai said, "The boss will definitely come. I am the boss's war pet, Xiao Bai Lang. Back then when you entered the Universal Realm, I was brought into the Universal Realm by the boss's father. You might not know who I am, but I know of the Shenyuan nationality, and I also know of the incident that happened to the God's Tower." After Shenyuan Liya said these, he did not suspect anymore. However, at this time, so what if Long Fei came? Disregarding how strong the factory sect was, just Zhu Daoren was someone that Long Fei could not handle. Immediately, Shenyuan Liya quickly said, "Quickly leave, I'm fine. No one is bullying me, you should quickly leave this place." Xiao Bai was startled, and said, "Sister-in-law, when I am here you are worried, no matter who he is, even if the Heavenly Emperor wants to touch my boss's woman, he cannot." Zhu Daoren said sinisterly, "If you go now, you still have a chance to live." His clothes began to bulge. The overlord power had already been condensed. If Xiao Bai dared to stay again, he would definitely kill Xiao Bai with one move. Zhu Yuan looked coldly at Xiao Bai Lang, and did not say a word. He knew his father would do it. Xiao Bai sneered, and said, "It's useless to stop now, because you will also die." Before he could finish speaking the word dead, Zhu Daoren suddenly made a move. Boom! With a burst of his strength, a 3-meter wide crack appeared on the ground. At this moment, his 5 fingers formed into a claw, and directly grabbed at the top of Xiao Bai's head. The overlord power was exceptionally fearsome under his 5 fingers, and the overlord suppression also came crushing down at 100,000 folds. Die! With that, he reached out his claw. The overlord stronger man was extremely tyrannical. Xiao Bai did not dare to be careless. When he felt the overlord power on Zhu Daoren's body surge, he reacted and saw Zhu Daoren's figure disappear. The spear on his back moved. He flew up into the sky. And in that instant, Xiao Bai laughed wildly, and said, "Then let's see who dies first." Rumble. The sky exploded and split open. A black lance that was like the lance of the god of death ruthlessly pierced towards Zhu Daoren's head, as if it was black lightning. Hualala. Xiao Bai didn't move an inch. Even if it was the overlord stronger man, he would still lose half his life from this spear strike. He did not believe that Zhu Daoren would dare not dodge. It was just that. Xiao Bai did not understand Zhu Daoren. Feeling the gigantic pressure from above his head, Zhu Daoren's heart tensed up. Such powerful strength, I have really underestimated him. However, with a turn of his body, he extended his left hand towards the sky, hand of the tyrant god. His right hand clawed towards Xiao Bai and his left hand grabbed at the black lance. Xiao Bai was startled. His body slightly sank and the energy in his body surged, forming a white light that protected his entire body. He moved both his hands, forming a strange seal. Seal was like a spear. Under the white light, his body became like a giant white spear. "Cat, look at how hard your hands are, it's coming down." Xiao Bai bellowed. Rumble. However, he did not stop there. Under the heavy pressure, even Xiao Bai's body was not able to withstand it and directly bent down. The overlord power was incomparably strong. Xiao Bai could only barely hold on, but he wouldn't be able to hold on for too long. It was also at this time. The black spear came piercing down. Zhu Daoren's hands were like snakes, they quickly wrapped around the black spear, his right hand loosened, and the spear in his left hand pierced down towards Xiao Bai. Hualala. Xiaobai's body bent even more. The defenses around his body started to crack like a spear. Rumble. Xiaobai's body flew out heavily. After flying for a few hundred meters, his body turned back into the shape of a wolf. Blood kept coming out of his mouth as his expression became extremely ugly. Zhu Daoren coldly snorted, "An animal dares to be so presumptuous in front of me." Xiaobai trembled, almost losing his balance. Zhu Daoren's strength exceeded his expectations, it was simply too strong. Furthermore, he had secretly cultivated with the elder swordsman for a period of time, otherwise, he would have been unable to endure even more. Seeing Xiaobai slightly tremble, Zhu Daoren swept his gaze across the place and said with a heavy voice, "Is there anyone else who objects? I want to see who dares to oppose this." The reason he did not kill Xiaobai was because he was worried that Shenyuan Li would not cooperate. Right now, Xiaobai Lang's life was in his hands, he had an additional bargaining chip. The tens of thousands of people in the plaza revealed a look of fear. Zhu Daoren's attack was too strong, who would dare oppose him? Just as Zhu Daoren was about to return to the 10,000 temples, someone stood out and said indifferently, "I object." This time it was half ice, half fire. Ice and fire. He looked at Xiaobai Lang, who was not far away, and said again, "I object." Zhu Daoren's eyes seemed to spew fire as he stared at the ice and fire. The aura he released was burning and the heat waves he released were striped like they were emitting hot air. "You're courting death," Zhu Daoren said. Binghua smiled faintly. Come and kill me." As soon as he finished, the flames and ice directly returned to the dragon and soared into the sky. It was just that. Not waiting for him to fly far, Zhu Daoren used his tyrannical hand to grab the dragon tail, and heavily smashed it onto the ground. Zhu Daoren took a step forward. At this time, Shenyuan Li immediately said, "Mr. Celestial, if you kill them, I'll immediately die." An elder said, "Mr. Celestial, the hour is almost over. If you do not go ahead and hold the wedding ceremony, it will be over." Zhu Daoren retracted his killing intent and shouted, "Let the wedding begin." "I object." A loud voice resounded from afar, "I object." A loud voice resounded from afar, "I object." Immediately, the entire audience was in an uproar. There were still people who objected. This was the limit of what he could endure when challenging Zhu Daoren. Moreover, it was obvious that Xiaobai and Binghua's objection was to stall for time. From the very beginning, Xiaobai knew that he was not Zhu Daoren's match, however. He had to buy time for Long Fei. He tried to delay. He could not hold on any longer, the ice and fire were on his hands. However, Zhu Daoren was too strong, the two of them were defeated by Zhu Daoren with just one move. Just as they were thinking of how to deal with this situation, a familiar voice rang out from afar. Their eyes lit up as they simultaneously called out, "Boss!" Immediately, as if they had eaten a Deluo gold pill, the two of them climbed up from the ground in an instant. The ones who came were none other than Long Fei, who had come all the way here to kill them. His entire body was dyed in blood, and the moment he landed, he held the heads of a few saints' hills in his hands. "I disagree." Long Fei immediately threw his head under the saint's temple, and his head rolled at Zhu Daoren's feet. Looking at the three heads, Zhu Daoren's eyes became gloomy. Master of Wu's Peak's face was pale as he said, You, even those heavenly sacred realm powerhouse." Long Fei said, "Kill them all. Those who block me, die." As he slaughtered madly along the way, thousands of God's holy states powerhouses all died under Long Fei's blade without any mercy. Because of this, his level also slowly rose, reaching the 9th level of the Emperor realm. Sky Sage realm was only one level away. This was because the higher his level was, the less experience a heavenly saint realm warrior would have. Otherwise, he would have already broken through the god's holy state. As soon as Long Fei finished his sentence, everyone on the Saint's Hill was shocked. All of them looked at Long Fei as if he was a homicidal maniac. A god's holy peakness powerhouse that was thousands of meters tall. The strongest power in the Fatri sect, but being massacred in just a few hours meant that the Fatri sect was halfway there. His vitality was greatly damaged, and he would definitely not be able to recover within several hundred years. Ah! Zhu Daoren let out a mad shout, and his anger immediately turned into flames, as if his entire body was ignited. Long Fei, gritting his teeth. All the bones in his body seemed to tremble. Without these heavenly sacred realm powerhouses, even if he, the Mr. Celestial, were to complete his plan, it would be impossible for the Factory Sectes to dominate the western regions. He did not think that so many gods' holy peakness powerhouse had already died. He just wanted them to stall Long Fei, so that Zhu Yuan could finish off the demons in his heart and kill Long Fei after his demonic tribulation succeeded. Now that things had progressed to a point where he was no longer able to control them, it was also intolerable. Long Fei grinned and said, "Why are you calling out to your father? Angry? Do you regret it? When you gave me to the Horcruxes Hill, you wanted to take my life. From then on, I told myself that I would not let you off. You let the 18 Defense Presbyter die a horrible death and self-destruct. This makes me even more determined to kill you." As soon as he finished, many people whispered, "Was the 18 Defense Presbyter killed by the Mr. Celestial? Can't be. The Defense Presbyter has nothing to do with the world, why must they be killed, and what's more, they will be protecting the immortal abyss secret world all their lives. Master, is what he said true? Brat, you dare to spout nonsense." Many people in the Factory sect did not know the truth of the 18 Defense Presbyter's death, and many people did not even know that the Defense Presbyter had died. Many of them had entered the immortal abyss secret world before to cultivate, and they all felt fear and reverence towards the 18 Defense Presbyter. It was them who had been protecting secret world. It was also because of their protection that Factory sect was able to develop smoothly. Zhu Daoren stared straight at Long Fei and said, "Kid, you said that I killed 18 elders? Where's the evidence? Is this the reason why you killed thousands of God's holy peakness powerhouse? Taking a step back, even if 18th elder died because of me, compared to how you killed so many Factory sectes, compared to you, how fierce are you, 18 old things, and thousands of God's holy peakness powerhouses? Now, I suspect that you are someone from Devil's sect, and that you were the one who killed 18 Defense Presbyter." Without waiting for Long Fei to speak, Zhu Daoren's aura moved, and he said, "Enter. I want to clean up the sect." Boom. With a burst of power, the overbearing power of Zhu Daoren smashed down heavily as both of his fists smashed towards the direction of Long Fei's Mingmen. Long Fei did not move. Boss. Xiao Bai and Bing Hua could not help but start to worry. But at this moment, a figure of a wild beast descended, and as it was also from the Overlord realm, it used its strength to meet the attack head-on. The two Overlord powers collided. Rumble. Countless cracks appeared in the surrounding space. Zhu Daoren retreated several steps, his gaze becoming gloomy as he stared at the man who was carrying Long Fei in every way, Crazy Wolf. The Crazy Wolf's vital energy and blood tumbled, forcefully held back, and said with a heavy voice, "I can prove that what Long Fei said was all true." As soon as he finished, many people looked at Zhu Daoren in unison. Master of Wu's Peak's expression also secretly changed. Zhu Daoren did not pay attention to the surrounding gazes and instead coldly laughed. "I didn't believe it at the beginning when I said you had broken through to the Overlord realm. I didn't think that you had actually broken through. Crazy Wolf, I'll give you a chance now. Kill him, I will make you the Lord of the Seven Peaks. Your power is only second to me." Fart. The Crazy Wolf spat out a mouthful of phlegm and said, "Zhu Daoren, a sinister villain like you is not worthy enough to manage Factory sect. From now on, you are no longer Factory sect's sect master." Ha ha ha. Zhu Daoren immediately laughed out loud and said, "Do you think that you have the final say in the sect master's affairs? Who do you think you are?" At this time, Long Fei took out the 18 Fairies badge and coldly said, with the 18 Fairies badge in hand, "If I say that you're not the sect master now, you're not the sect master." The moment the fairy order appeared, Zhu Daoren's eyes darkened. However, the sneer on his face grew thicker as he said gloomily, "A dead man dares to say such things in front of me?" Immediately, the temperature of the entire Saints' Hill plummeted, and the frost on the flowers and plants started to congeal at a visible rate. In an instant, the entire plaza seemed to freeze. His face sunk as he said to Ju Yuan, "Yuana, lure the demons into the heavenly tribulation. Protect him." 3 secret sects immediately stood to the side of Shenyuan Li. Long Fei's gaze tensed up. Icefire and Xiao Bai walked over. Long Fei asked, "Are you alright?" Xiao Bai giggled and said, "It's fine. You think you can kill me with just him? I still have a big move to play. Ice and fire, you go first. I'll hold back my attacks for a while." Buzz. Ju Daren's figure disappeared. The temperature continued to drop, as though his blood vessels were frozen. The crazy wolf said solemnly, "Everyone be careful, he's here." Although he did not cultivate, his realm and rank was still there. Ju Daren's figure had disappeared and he could clearly feel his presence approaching. Although he did not cultivate, his realm and rank was still there. Ju Daren's figure had disappeared and he could clearly feel his presence approaching. It was just that. He was unable to sense Ju Daren's position. Ju Daren was also a overlord realm, but his overlord realm was much higher ranked than the crazy wolf. Boom, boom. Without saying a word, Tan De Pao shot a few cannons in front of him. The shell exploded and a cloud of mist dispersed in the air. Tan De Pao's eyes darkened as he continued to sense his surroundings. Lan Mai stuck close to Long Fei and released the vein of blue water with all of its power. A layer of faint blue crystal covered his body, but it was not a defense, but rather the condensation of energy. Su Su was at the back, and the cure was ready. This was a team system. However, Ju Daoren did not even look at them. Shua, breaking through the void. Rumble. After leaving this place, he directly landed in front of Long Fei. Die. A loud sound was heard. Ju Daoren's hand directly grabbed at Long Fei's throat. It was so fast that it didn't even have time to react. Boss. Big brother Long Fei. No one expected that Ju Daoren's speed would be so fast. No one reacted. Long Fei did the same. His eyes reflected the hand Ju Daoren had grabbed towards him. His eyes darkened as the idea moved. Immortal mode. Open. Boom. As per a command from the idea, Long Fei's body suddenly changed. Creak, 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 creak. His body underwent a drastic change, and the aura around him was completely different. The most important thing was that his body had directly turned from a 1.8 m tall man to an 18 m tall giant. The muscles on his body were like rocks. The aura it emitted was as powerful as an explosion. Moreover, his pupils also revealed slight changes to his face. Compared to the immortal mode of the Flame Shadow Ninja, his immortal mode was even more domineering. The entire audience was stunned. What is that? Giant clan? It suddenly became so huge. How could this happen? Can you transform? Look at his aura, it's completely different from ordinary warriors. Yeah, I feel it too. What's going on? So what if it has become like this? Even if he is unable to escape death, in front of the Mr. Celestial, he is still nothing more than an ant. As they discussed, they were shocked by Long Fei's sudden transformation. At the same time, Ju Yuan's eyes also released a sharp light as he coldly laughed. Long Fei, is this what you're relying on? He was not in a hurry to trigger the demonic tribulation. He did not want to miss this good show. He wanted to know how strong his father Ju Daoren was, and how much of his strength he had concealed from him. At the same time, he also wanted to know how many moves Long Fei could endure from his father. Suddenly transforming, the spirit chi on his body changed. Obviously Long Fei had become stronger. Shua. Ju Daoren had originally locked onto Long Fei's throat, but Long Fei had suddenly become stronger, causing him to have no choice but to grab onto Long Fei's feet. His 5 fingers moved. It stabbed straight into his flesh. He used all his strength and tore off a piece of meat. It was only a piece of meat, without much damage. Ju Daoren raised his eyes and looked at Long Fei, who was in mid-air, and became even more furious. What can you do about it? Die as well. Boom. His body disappeared again, and then suddenly transformed. He rushed towards Long Fei's head. However, his speed just reached Long Fei's waist, Long Fei's mouth turned cold. What can you do about it? I can take your life. As soon as he finished, the gigantic long-handled falchion hacked down. Hualala. It cleaved straight through the void, causing countless cracks to appear in space. Bam! A heavy sound rang out and a figure shot out from the void, heavily smashing into the ground. Rumble. A huge crater appeared on the ground, and in the middle of the crater, Zhu Daoren lied there with blood hanging from the corner of his mouth. His eyes were incomparably gloomy, and he stared at Long Fei while gnashing his teeth. How dare you? Shua. His figure flashed again and disappeared. This time, it was even faster. Long Fei laughed coldly. You killed Defense Presbyter. Today I want your soul flying. Green Dragon slash. Shua. The flames burned, and the flaming blade chi on the blade was like a dragon. Under the immortal mode, his eyes were completely different. He could directly see Zhu Daoren in the air. No matter how fast he was still under Long Fei's eyes. Kill. A furious slash. The entire space was set ablaze. Zhu Daoren's pupils tightened. He took out a divine sword's arrogant overlord power and released it, stabbing towards the long-handled falchion and shouting, "Break for me." The two forces clashed. The void exploded as streams of strong chi spread out in all directions. It was like the light of the sun shining through thick clouds. The entire plaza shook violently. Wherever the light passed, many people were sent flying. His strength was incomparably thick. The whole scene was like a fight between gods. Long Fei continued to hack down, Zhu Daoren continued to defend. In just half a minute, the two of them had already exchanged more than 1,000 moves. No one was able to do anything to each other. Zhu Yuan stared at Long Fei in shock. Seems like I have really underestimated you. Old thing, it's really useless. He ruthlessly said contemptuous words. And then, Zhu Yuan looked at Shenyuan Li and said, "Little sister Li, seeing that your lover is coming to save you, are you especially excited?" Shenyuan Li's mind trembled, and said, "Zhu Yuan, you have become a demon, and can still turn back. Go back. Ha ha ha. Why should I turn back?" Zhu Yuan laughed coldly a few times, and said, "What I desire the most is unparalleled strength. If a god cannot give me the power, then I will not worship God. If magic can give me the power, then a devil will be my god. Are you ready?" A sinister light flashed across his eyes. Suddenly, swish. Zhu Yuan's clothes had been torn apart and his entire body was covered with moving devil tendons, as if numerous sinister centipedes were coiling around his body. It was incomparably terrifying. Those people who were killed by Zhu Yuan, as well as those people whose profound chi were all absorbed by the demon tendons, were letting out wails and cries. The faces of the surrounding people all turned aghast. They were so scared that they didn't even dare to speak. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Zhu Yuan laughed madly, his eyes turning into bloodshot as he looked at the sky and muttered, "Demon God, my master, please bestow me power." Rumble. 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 The sky began to roll up. Layers of clouds appeared to be like those of a 9-storied building. A gigantic pair of blood-colored eyes appeared at the center, staring at Zhu Yuan who was at the center. Then, rumble. Countless streaks of blood-red lightning were released from the clouds. Lightning web. After condensing and condensing, it directly exploded the top of Zhu Yuan's head, causing him to become crazy. "Come, my devil tribulation." Just as Long Fei and Zhu Daoren was about to fight with the deities, Zhu Yuan was not in a good mood. Just as Long Fei and Zhu Daoren was about to fight with the deities, Zhu Yuan was not in a good mood. Long Fei was not happy with Long Fei's sudden strength. Since Zhu Daoren could not take Long Fei, Zhu Yuan became even more unhappy. Thus, he immediately triggered the demonic tribulation. As long as he succeeded in transcending the tribulation, these people would all die. The demonic clouds above Saints Hill roiled and the gigantic devil eyes activated the demonic tribulation, immediately triggering it. The demonic tribulation had begun. All of a sudden, those who had originally come to congratulate the Saints Hill were scattered in all directions. Devil tribulation was extremely savage. It was an incomparably large technique known as group damage. As long as one was a bit closer, one would be affected by the demonic tribulation. If they didn't leave soon, they probably wouldn't be able to escape. Moreover, the devilish tendons on Zhu Yuan's body were exceptionally terrifying. Every one of them looked as if they were about to devour a person. He nearly peed his pants in fright. How could he not run? They had originally come to congratulate him, but now they were running for their lives. Actually, why did the young sect master of the Factory sect not invite any other sect from the western regions for his grand wedding? Why didn't he invite some powerhouses? All sorts of small sects under the jurisdiction of the Factory sect, and rich armored merchants. The reason was simple. It was to let them add strength to Zhu Yuan. As they dispersed in all directions, Zhu Yuan began to laugh sinisterly. You want to escape? Ha ha ha. They came to the Saints' Hill and they still want to escape. All of you are too naive. All of you, die. Someone, come. As soon as he finished. Outside the plaza, disciples of secret sect rushed out immediately, sending all of them back to the plaza. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The remnant clouds rolled up, and many lower cultivation people were sent flying. As they were sucked into the clouds, their bodies instantly exploded, and blood and flesh flew everywhere. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Zhu Yuan laughed madly. My demon, this is all my filial piety. I am your most loyal servant, please bestow your strongest power to me. Ha ha ha. His entire being went berserk. He had completely fallen into a berserk state. The human nature in Zhu Yuan's body had been completely destroyed, all that was left were demons. He wanted to turn himself into a demon slave and offer up his soul. If he succeeded, even a peak overlord realm powerhouse would not be his match. Ah! Ah! Help! Help! Factory sect, fuck your ancestors. Young sect master, spare me. All of them were like lambs waiting to be slaughtered, kneeling down and begging for forgiveness, but Zhu Yuan did not even look at them, staring at the gigantic devil eyes in the sky, waiting for the magic dark force to strike. When Shenyuan Li saw that Zhu Yuan had completely demonized, she suddenly sat cross-legged, and started chanting non-stop. Calming heart curse. Zhu Yuan's brows tightened, his eyes turned sinister, and he laughed coldly. You think you can evolve the devil in my heart? Ha ha ha. When I was in my mother's womb, a spell was born in my body. The spell in my heart is something that was born to be born into my body. Are you actually a mortal that can be purified? The calming heart incantation was unable to cleanse the demon in his heart. Just as Shenyuan Li was about to chant the tranquil heart curse, the three elder of secret sects beside her slightly moved. Fart. Shenyuan Li immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. Eldest sister-in-law. The ice and fire moved and flew out. Zhu Yuan sneered, a mere lizard dares to be so impudent in front of me, go and die. The devil flames on Zhu Yuan's body moved, and directly engulfed the ice and fire. Rumble. The moment he caught it, he threw it into the clouds. Ice and fire swirled, and the clouds became intertwined with fire and ice. Ice and fire! Long Fei shouted anxiously. His rage flared. Xiao Bai could not care about the big move held inside his body as he instantly rushed out. Shenyuan Li immediately shouted, don't come over. Xiao Bai Lang did not care. Ice and fire were his brothers, life and death brothers. It could be said that the two of them were the first to follow Long Fei, and now that ice and fire had been thrown into the devil cloud, how could he not save them? Ha ha ha. Another one who came to die. All of you, go die. Zhu Yuan let out a sinister and excited roar. The devilish flames from all directions pounced towards Xiao Bai and flung him fiercely, also throwing him tightly into the demonic clouds. Immediately, a dragon and a wolf were dragged into the clouds. His demonic eyes were opening in fury. Zhu Yuan's eyes looked as if they were about to burst. The rotation speed of the entire layer of clouds was even faster, and power was converging from all directions. Feeling the limitless amount of devil energy converging, Zhu Yuan was exceptionally excited. Long Fei and Zhu Daoren continued to fight to the death. The immortal mode was indeed fierce, it did not lose to Zhu Daoren. However, it was impossible to kill Zhu Daoren in a short amount of time, not to mention the 100 million HP above Zhu Daren's head. Even more so, there was no difference between their strengths. In addition, with Zhu Yuan instigating the devil tribulation, Xiao Bai and the ice and fire being drawn into the devil clouds, their fates were uncertain, so Long Fei was even more worried. Also because of his worry, his strength had weakened a lot. Zhu Daoren laughed out wildly, "Ha ha ha. Long Fei, your brother will soon become the devil's sacrifice, and after my son succeeds in his tribulation, you will also become the devil's sacrifice, ha ha ha." Seeing Zhu Yuan like this, Zhu Daoren was ecstatic in his heart. Because Zhu Yuan was a creation of his own. The reaction of the devil tribulation was far beyond his expectations. If he succeeded under this kind of devil tribulation, Zhu Yuan might even be able to smoothly step into the sovereign realm. At that time, even without God's holy peakness powerhouse's protection, Fatri sect would still be Western Regions' #1 sect. All the powerhouses had to prostrate at his feet. Ha ha ha. Thinking about all these, Zhu Daoren couldn't help but be overjoyed. Long Fei moved, the long-handled falchion slashed at Zhu Yuan. Zhu Daoren moved his sword and blocked Long Fei's blade. He smiled and said, "Long Fei, do not be anxious. I will give you a chance after my son passes through the tribulation. Now, don't even think about disturbing my son's devil tribulation, ha ha ha." Was firmly held back by Zhu Daoren. Long Fei was extremely anxious. Xiao Bai and Bing Hue would not die so easily, he was clear about this point. Right now, he was most worried about Shenyuan Li. He still didn't know what kind of power Shenyuan Li had, but Zhu Daoren knew for sure that she was helping him get through the tribulation while using her powers. Once the power on Shenyuan Li's body erupted, she would definitely not be able to live. Then, Long Fei looked at Lan Mai. Lan Mai understood tacitly, and his figure moved. It was also at this time. Purple lightning condensed around the clouds and began to fall. It had begun. The fiendish tribulation had arrived. Zhu Yuan's eyes were incomparably feverish as he looked at the purple lightning descending from the sky. With one hand, he grabbed Shenyuan Li and said, "Did you see that? The most beautiful thing in the world, the most beautiful power in the world, now. It's time for you to explode, ha ha ha." With both hands, he grabbed Shenyuan Li and pierced his devil tendons into Shenyuan Li's arm. Shenyuan Li's pupils suddenly changed. This is bad. This is bad. Shenyuan Li's pupils changed, which also meant that she had to bear through Zhu Yuan's devilish tribulation. At that time, even if she had to endure the devilish tribulation, her body would step through it. If he couldn't take it, then she would no soul flying. Actually, whether it was Zhu Yuan or Zhu Daoren, they did not understand the true power in Shenyuan Li's body. They even more so, did not know what consequences the power in her body would bring. They only knew that the second daughter had the power to shoulder all the responsibilities that the meditation peak had back then. Whether it was heavenly tribulation or demonic tribulation, it could be said that the power within her body could withstand such a tribulation. However, then she would die. It was really because of the meditation peak lord's words that Zhu Daoren remembered them. And since that time, he allowed Shenyuan Li to enter the Fatri sect. He also began his plan to become a god. It was just that he did not expect God to create a demon, but it was the same for him. Seeing Zhu Yuan using Shenyuan Li to withstand the power of the devil tribulation, Zhu Daoren became even more joyous, ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. With her blocking everything, my son's demonic tribulation will naturally be successfully overcome. At that time, the divine path, Long Fei moved, releasing the six forces' divine way. He fused it directly into the martial saint's artifact and slashed at Zhu Daoren. Zhu Daoren's pupils tightened, but he was not afraid in the slightest. He laughed complacently, "It's already too late, you can no longer stop me. Ha ha ha. And even this kind of power cannot kill me." Zhu Daoren also exploded with even more power, fiercely blocking the attack. Rumble. Zhu Daoren retreated a few steps, his internal organs all rolling about, and even his sea of consciousness faintly trembled, feeling extremely uncomfortable. He thought to himself, this child is truly incredible. From the moment he entered the factory sect to now, in just a few months' time, he has grown to such a terrifying stage. Even Zhu Yuan took over 20 years' time. If we don't get rid of him today, he will become a huge threat in the future. Long Fei's growth speed was just too fast. So fast that even Zhu Daoren felt fear in his heart. If Long Fei was not eliminated, he would definitely become a great enemy. Immediately, Zhu Daoren's eyes tensed up, and he soared to the sky. The moment they flew into the air, suddenly, Long Fei released a drop of his blood essence, space and time gate. He didn't want to fight with Zhu Daoren at all. Since he couldn't kill him in such a short time, he decided to leave it at the back, where it would be easier to kill the smaller one first. Black and White said anxiously, Long Fei, you've already used 5 drops of blood essence today. The first 4 drops of blood essence, Long Fei felt dizzy, and the 5th drop of blood essence fell. Once the blood essence fell, the door of space-time suddenly opened its mouth. Zhu Daoren was startled. Space-time secret technique? His gaze turned, looked towards Zhu Yuan, who was far away, and immediately shouted, Yuana, be careful. Before he could finish his words, Long Fei said heavily, Ashura Dao. The blood-colored energy that was like a purgatory merged into the long-handled falchion and slashed down at Zhu Yuan. Rumble. S body lightly trembled, and he started to laugh excitedly. It's really just as the old thing said, she really can defend against all kinds of attacks, ha ha ha. Feeling a wave of energy coming at him, the corners of Zhu Yuan's eyes turned cold as he sneered, this old thing is really useless. All right then, since you want to throw your life away, I'll grant you that wish. Perfect. My magic still lacks many offerings. Your talent should be not bad, my magic should like you. Boom. Suddenly, Zhu Yuan's body turned into a ball of demonic flame and suddenly disappeared. At the same time, Long Fei felt a chill behind his back. A sinister smile came from behind him. Hehe, you trash, go to hell. Path of the Demon. Immortal extermination. The devil flame was like a sword, as it pierced straight towards Long Fei's back. Long Fei turned his body, his long blade sweeping across. Beast Dao. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The 10,000 beasts roared. The 6 forces that devoured everything slashed towards Zhu Yuan. Boom. The 2 forces clashed, causing Long Fei to retreat several steps. The same happened to Zhu Yuan as he also retreated several steps. You're courting death. Zhu Yuan raged, the chi on his body suddenly changed, and directly absorbed the purple lightning energy from the heaven slaughter divine cloud into his body, lightning forming a sword, his figure turning into mist. Boom. The fog disappeared. The demonic flames from all directions surged towards Long Fei. Long Fei closed his eyes and turned the martial saint artifact in his hand. In the system interface, 6 rays of light shone out at the same time. Eyes wide with anger. It flashed with a brilliant light. The martial saint weapon shook heavily. Rumble. The 6 forces rippled outwards, dispersing all the devil flames in the surroundings. Then, Long Fei locked onto a spot, the way of the gods, the way of the Ashura, the way of humans, the way of beasts, the way of evil spirits, the way of hell. One with 6 paths. Crack. Long Fei's body sank slightly. Ding. System notification. The combined power of 6 paths has failed. F***CK. Long Fei roared in rage. One with the 6 forces failed at this time? System. Just F***king kill me. Failure at such a crucial moment. Of course. Long Fei had also never tried using the power of 6 paths combining together. This was the first time. But he just failed. He still could not unleash so much power at the same time. However, Long Fei did not give up. 5 paths in 1. Ding. System notification. Failed. F***CK. For have become 1. Ding. System notification. Failed. 3 is 1. Ding. System notification. Failed. If the system had failed 4 times in a row, then he would have been killed by Long Fei 10,000 times already. Ding. System prompt. Joining the Dao is successful. Long Fei's heart loosened, But still. Just now, he had wasted too much time on combining the 6 paths into one. Before the 2 forces that had merged into one had even exploded outwards, Zhu Yuan's purple lightning strike had chopped down. Not only did it hit him from another side, Zhu Daoren also sent a giant palm print towards him. Long Fei. Boss. Lan Mai rushed forward without caring about his life. Su Su crazily healed her. The crazy wolf flew into the air as well. However, their cultivation bases were much lower than Zhu Yuan's. Long Fei had been wasted too much time by the system. Seeing this scene, his heart turned sinister. Kill one less. Kill. The sword chopped down. Hualala. Zhu Daoren's palm print had been cut apart, causing blood to spurt out from the center of his brows. With a slight movement of his fingers, he sealed his acupuncture points, and his body dropped down from the sky. Zhu Yuan laughed excitedly. Ha ha ha. Die, become a sacrifice. Ha ha ha. A sword pierced through Long Fei's body, and Long Fei was also pushed into the devil cloud by the powerful force. Boom, boom. Rumble. Rumble. His body crazily spun in the devil cloud. His sea of consciousness and mind seemed to be on the verge of collapsing. At the same time, purple lightning unceasingly struck Shenyuan Lier's body. She was just like a puppet. Ah! Long Fei roared out, the power of his astral body erupted, and his body directly blocked the devil tribulation. The strength of the purple devil tribulation continuously smashed into Long Fei's body. He became a substitute. Shenyuan Lier looked up with tears streaming down his face. He shook his head and said, "No, no, no." Zhu Yuan, who was at the side, laughed complacently and wildly, ha ha ha. Who? Inside Long Fei's body, the old devil heaved a heavy sigh. This old man can't watch any longer. He used his body to block the demonic eye. He used his body to block the demonic eye. Use your body to resist the magic dark force. Purple demon tribulation lightning continuously struck Long Fei's body. His body continuously trembled, but Long Fei did not sink even a little bit as he completely blocked the magic dark force. Long Fei did not feel much pain because of his astral body. However, he felt somewhat aggrieved. He could take it. The old devils in his body couldn't take it. This old man can't watch any longer. The old devil said in a deep voice. Black and White said, "What do you want? Don't do anything rash. I told you before, the more we help him, the greater the difficulties he will face in the future." Black and White had already tried. Back then, how irritable was his temperament. Facing the Azure Dragon and powerhouse of God's tribe, he did not hold back in the slightest. However, what he brought about was the difficulties Long Fei faced. Right now, it was already super difficult. If the old devil interfered too much, it would make the road for Long Fei even more difficult in the future. The old demon wiped the bridge of his nose and said with a face full of anger, "I don't care, all the devils in Universal Boundary are all transformed by me. I can't take this lying down in front of me with my parasitic body." Black and White said anxiously, "Old devil, don't act recklessly." The old demon chuckled, "I want to act recklessly. Hey, brat, do you want to let this devil tribulation to fall under your control?" Rumble. 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 The purple lightning continued to bombard Long Fei, causing his entire body to go numb. Upon hearing the old demon's voice, he immediately asked, "You have a way?" The old demon said, "The demons in this world are all transformed by me, so of course I have a way." "The devils of the universal realm were all transformed by you?" Long Fei was greatly shocked. These words were not just any kind of overpowered words. If it was true, then he would be the universal realm of the universal realm's devils. Disregarding the shock in his heart, Long Fei also wanted to know the old demon's strength and said, "All right." The old demon laughed excitedly. "Ha ha ha. Then you're ready." While they were talking, the old demon's idea moved and directly entered Long Fei's sea of consciousness. Following that, a majestic devil fire erupted from Long Fei's body, turning his entire body purple. His aura turned purple. His eyes turned purple as well. Even his hair had turned purple. The sudden change made many people tense up. "Quick, look. Why did that person change? His turned purple. Ha ha ha. He must have been cut into purple by the devil tribulation. This brat came here to seek death. Who is he going against? And now he is going against the young lord. This is what he calls overestimating himself. Zhu Yuan slightly lifted his eyes, looked at the change in Long Fei's body, and a cold smile unconsciously appeared on the corner of his mouth as he said to Shenyuan Li, "See there, this is the man you like. He's just a piece of trash, he's about to be penetrated by the magic dark force. All right then, if he can withstand this demonic tribulation, then you don't have to die. When that time comes, you will become my demon consort." Ha ha ha. Zhu Yuan laughed wildly with pride. He didn't notice in the slightest the change in aura on Long Fei's body. Of course. Even a devil at his current level would not be able to detect the change in Long Fei's aura. Shenyuan Li was struggling, trying his best to struggle, but she was simply unable to struggle free from Zhu Yuan's restraints. Looking at Long Fei being struck by the magic dark force, the waves of power felt like they were striking her heart, and she was in so much pain that she wished she were dead. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Zhu Yuan laughed madly. If he succeeded in transcending the tribulation, he would become a supreme powerhouse. He would enter the god's tribe, go to the heavenly palace, and cultivate the power of the ancient inheritance. At that time, he would be an eternal powerhouse. In the distance, Zhu Daoren revealed an excited smile. His state of mind was cut off by Long Fei's slash, but the last bit of energy protected him, protecting his life. As he watched the magic dark force continuously fall, he knew that Zhu Yuan's devil calamity was about to succeed. Ha ha ha. I'm going to succeed, I created the powerhouse with my own hands, ha ha ha. Zhu Daoren was also laughing maniacally in his heart. The boss is about to die. Tan Dapao leaped with all his might. He did not care about all that, and rushed into the black cloud. My life was given to me by boss. Without Brother Long, I would have already died. As brothers, you will never have another life. Let me carry it for you. Tan Dapao saved him, gave him a new life, and now that Long Fei was on the verge of death, as his brother, he had to do something. Tan Dapao rushed into the devil cloud, and was instantly swept inside. Boss, I'm here. Lan Mai did not care so much. He also followed into the demon cloud and thought to himself, if you are no longer here, then what color is there in my world? Su Su's tears flowed non-stop, the power of recovery constantly being released, but it was of no use at all. Facing the twisting and turning of the devil cloud, his power of recovery was simply unable to go in. Woo woo. Woo woo woo. She started to cry. Seeing one person after another rush into the devil cloud, Zhu Yuan became even more proud of himself. Ha ha ha. Become the sacrifice of our demon, and sacrifice all of your souls. Ha ha ha. The more sacrifices I make, the stronger the power I gain. All of you, come at me. Zhu Yuan laughed wildly as his red hair flew everywhere. Looking at the swirling devil clouds, he felt the powerful attacks of the purple lightning. As long as the demon tribulation passed, he would be able to surpass the inner demons. Come on, my power. Zhu Yuan could not help but be excited. But at this moment, the power of the purple lightning became even more ferocious, rumbling. It frantically struck Long Fei's body. Long Fei's body was originally lying down and suspended in midair, but now that he had stood up and floated in midair, the purple lightning above his head unceasingly struck. But he didn't do any damage. Boom. The purple devil light on Long Fei's body trembled. Crack. The purple lightning suddenly stopped. The swirling cloud also seemed to have frozen, and was completely motionless. Even the giant demonic eyes above the 9 layers of clouds began to tremble violently. It stopped. Blocked. What's going on? He raised his head to look at the tornado of demonic clouds. In the center of the wind eye, Zhu Yuan raised his head and looked, his eyes staring straight at Long Fei. What did you do? Long Fei's eyes released a bright light, and coldly laughed. A demon slave like you dares to call out such a low-level demon tribulation in front of me, your father? The tone was completely different. The aura of a man looking down on the world. Zhu Yuan's pupils tightened. Who are you? Long Fei said heavily, I am your ancestor. Zhu Yuan's blood-red eyes widened, and in his mind, tens of thousands of devil flames surged. The demonic cloud slightly trembled, wanting to start spinning. But Long Fei's eyes were filled with anger. He shouted, Stop. Then Long Fei's gaze locked onto Zhu Yuan. You want to pass the heavenly tribulation, right? Then I shall let you experience what is called demonic tribulation. Ding, ding, transforming into a devil tribulation. Do you want to release it? The sound that suddenly rang out in his mind shook. Long Fei was overwhelmed with shock. I have turned into a devil tribulation? The old demon lightly said, Boy, now you are the demonic tribulation. The demonic tribulation is in your control, so you can play with it however you want. No one can stop you. While they were talking, the old demon coldly looked at that huge demonic eye, and coldly said, Are you unconvinced? The demonic eye shook. He didn't even dare to fart. The old demon coldly snorted, If you dare act smug again, I'll kill you too. The demonic eye trembled even more. I've become a devil. Ha ha ha. Immediately, Long Fei did not care about all that as the idea moved. Ding. Please lock onto the target. The corner of Long Fei's mouth rose as he laughed excitedly. Passing the tribulation, right? Using someone else to block the tribulation? Since you do not wish to undergo this tribulation, then I shall let you have a taste of this demon tribulation. Target, Zhu Yuan. Ding. Target locked. As soon as he finished, Long Fei roared out, Blast it for me. Catcher. Rumble. The calamity energy inside the devil cloud had become even more ferocious than before. When Zhu Yuan saw the devil cloud revolving, he thought that it was because of his own strength. He also became excited. Ha ha ha. Who can stop me? Long Fei, you are just a piece of trash. You can block me. Ha ha ha. When I pass through the devil tribulation, I will turn all of your women into my own, and your brothers into my slaves. Ha ha ha. Zhu Yuan laughed madly. Suddenly, his laughter stopped abruptly. Because Long Fei's body suddenly released a ray of purple lightning, striking down. The devil tribulation had penetrated Long Fei's body. Impossible, unless Long Fei died, it would not be possible to penetrate his body, and this devil tribulation was clearly released from Long Fei's body. Compared to the magic dark force just now, it was even more brutal. He could unleash a demonic tribulation. This is just a coincidence. Zhu Yuan's eyes darkened. He was not worried at all, and said, Even if the power of the devil tribulation descends, so what? Don't forget that I have a substitute with me. While they were talking, Zhu Yuan held Shenyuan Li'er tightly with both hands and laughed sinisterly. Come at me, ha ha ha. Before he could completely laugh, a pot exploded on top of Zhu Yuan's head, causing his red hair to be completely burnt. How could this be? Isn't the power from Shenyuan Li'er's body able to defend me from all attacks? Coincidence. Right, it must be a coincidence. Zhu Yuan was secretly shocked. He was a little uncomfortable with the power of this heavenly tribulation. At this time, crack, another bolt of purple lightning came crashing down. Zhu Yuan's pupils tightened as he grabbed onto Shenyuan Li'er tightly, his heart tensing up. This time, it's definitely not going to hit me. Bam! Zhu Yuan's body sank, and blood started to seep out from the top of his head. What's going on? What? You're still able to hit me? Zhu Yuan's expression changed greatly. The two magic dark forces had made his heart demon tremble. If his heart demon was destroyed, then he would be crippled. To become a demon dweller, what they were most afraid of was a demon tribulation. The possibility of successfully going through the heavenly tribulation would become extremely high, but the chances of that happening was extremely low, which was why Shenyuan Li'er was needed. However, the two balls of devilish tribulation power smashed onto Zhu Yuan's body, causing him to be unable to endure it. Crack. Bam. Another heavy bombardment struck Zhu Yuan's body. Zhu Yuan looked up into the sky, looked at the gigantic devil eyes, and cursed, Where the F*ck are you going to blast this? Didn't I give you a sacrifice? What are you trying to do? Zhu Yuan raged. Long Fei moved and said faintly, "Can I increase my power a little?" The old demon said, "Now that you are in control of the demonic tribulation, you can add any strength you want." Understood. Long Fei laughed wickedly. "Let's see how I will kill you then. 18 combo. 6 cycle of reincarnation. Explode. The power of the divine path. Fusion. Crack. Bam. The power of the Tao of the gods struck down at the devilish tribulation. Rumble. Zhu Yuan was immediately forced to the ground. Blood spewed out as he stared at the demon eye in the sky. He realized that the demon eye was trembling, and that it was not because of the power he released. In other words, the power of the devil tribulation was released by Long Fei. Knowing this, Zhu Yuan's heart tightened, the anger in his heart surged, and he said solemnly, "It really is you who did this, destroying my devil tribulation, right? Then I will let her die." It directly grabbed towards the center of Shenyuan Li Er's back. However, the moment Zhu Yuan crawled back up, he shouted, "Ashura Dao." Bang! Crack! He once again lay flat on the ground. Quite a few of the devil veins on Zhu Yuan's body shattered, and his bloodshot eyes became even more angry as he roared loudly, "Ah! Long Fei, I want to kill." Crack! The path of a beast. Boom! 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 18 consecutive blows, 3-6 cycles of reincarnation. Zhu Yuan's entire body had become an idiot. He could not even get up from the ground, his entire body was covered in blood, and the devil tendons on his body had broken all over. This scene. No one had expected this. How did it become like this? Didn't he already return the original plan? Seeing Zhu Yuan being blown to death by the devil tribulation, the look in Zhu Daren's eyes became extremely furious. He stared at Long Fei, who was in the air, and said solemnly, "You have destroyed my plan, hurt my son, Long Fei. I will not rest until you are dead." Boom! Zhu Daoren ignored his heavy injuries and shot straight up into the sky. Long Fei! A furious roar. Zhu Daoren floated in front of Long Fei, and watched Long Fei continuously release magic dark force. Flames seemed to be about to spew out of his eyes. It was also because of Zhu Daren's appearance that Zhu Yuan was able to breathe heavily. A few more and he would die. Seeing that his father had appeared, Zhu Yuan immediately shouted, "Father, save me." At this moment, the inner demons on his body had been reduced to almost nothing, and in the future, after receiving heavy injuries, Zhu Yuan's entire body would be restored to its original state. His cultivation also returned to the heavenly saint level 5. Zhu Daoren felt the aura of the realm from Zhu Yuan's body, and he became even more furious, and said, "Long Fei, you have destroyed everything I have, I want you dead." As soon as he finished, Zhu Daoren rushed out. The endless overlord power crazily surged. Long Fei said, "Old demon, can my magic dark force attack others?" The old demon said, "Of course you can, I've said it before. Now, you control the demonic tribulation, so as long as the demonic eye above your head hasn't disappeared, you will have the power to control the demonic tribulation." Oh! Long Fei looked at Zhu Daoren, and said with a heavy voice, "I've destroyed everything you have. If you don't provoke me, will I destroy everything for you? Don't you want me to die? Will I destroy you? If you don't kill the defense presbyter, will I destroy you? The result of provoking your father is death." The anger in Long Fei's heart completely exploded out as well. Zhu Daoren was angry. Long Fei was even more furious than he was. Defense presbyter self-destructs one by one to their deaths in front of his eyes. That kind of pain, that fury, that powerlessness, made the anger in Long Fei's heart burn uncontrollably high. Destroy with one move. He was furious. He was furious. Since Long Fei now had the power to control the devil tribulation, then there was no need for him to endure any further. Magic dark force. 6 forces. Divine path, Ashura Dao. Ancient inheritance killing sword. Big master guard arm. All kinds of powers were continuously being fused into the demonic calamity, regardless of whether it could withstand it or not. It was to maximize the power of the demonic calamity. Rumble. 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 The demonic cloud was rumbling and the demonic eye was trembling. The old devil couldn't help but say in astonishment, "Damn, aren't you being a little too crazy?" The ancient power was also being absorbed. "What are you trying to do?" "Madness. Ha ha ha. He's even crazier than I was." "Brat, you're as graceful as I was back then, ha ha ha." The old demon laughed maniacally. However, Black and White said faintly, "You're not helping him, but harming him." The old demon grinned and said, "Old ghost, your heart is made of stone, but mine is not. Since it is a type of arrangement inside this brat's body, I am different from you. I can't stand seeing this brat suffer a little. That's not my old demon character. Who cares what troubles he will encounter in the future? Even if it's difficult, is there any difficulty that can't be solved with us? I don't believe it." The old demon was in high spirits. His personality was just looking after his own future, not caring about his mother's future. What's the point of having a good time in the future now? He believed in his own strength. How could a mere universal realm possibly stop him? Black and White said, "You're right, but your power is your power, this brat's power is this brat's power. How much power can you give him? How much power can he unleash? Have you thought about it? If we can give him all our power, naturally, we wouldn't have to worry, but we can't. Millions of years have passed. How long has it been since we last showed up? What kind of powerhouse don't even know about us? His path should be left to him." Black and White were also worried that the road behind Long Fei would become harder and harder to traverse, resulting in his death in the end. This was not what he wanted to see. The old demon grinned and muttered in his heart, "I don't care about that. This kid's temper is good for my character. I can't let him be bullied." Boom. Boom. Long Fei's strength was still increasing, and he almost couldn't hold on any longer. The old devil slightly controlled himself. Long Fei's strength stabilized. It was also at this time. Zhu Daoren landed in front of Long Fei, and from all directions, the overlord power, like many overlord and divine sovereigns, heavily slammed towards Long Fei. This power. It was incomparably fierce. Zhu Yuan laughed excitedly, "Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. 4 Seas overlord. This is the old fogey's strongest move. Long Fei, you're dead for sure, ha ha ha." Once Long Fei died, no matter what demon tribulation was, he would still become the super powerhouse. Zhu Daoren glared with his eyes, "Die." Long Fei smirked, "Super giant magic dark force." Boom. Rumble. Directly locking onto Zhu Daoren's Mingmen, Long Fei did not go to defend. The best defense was offense. The incomparably violent power of the devil tribulation was released, causing the entire world to tremble. The area of 1,000 kilometers around rumbled again and again, as though the sky was about to collapse. The entire western regions was enveloped in this demonic sound. Hualala. Hualala. The power of the 4 Seas tyrant shattered. Zhu Daoren's eyes darkened as he turned around to look at Zhu Yuan, who was on the ground, and shouted loudly, "Zhu Yuan, run." Zhu Yuan was startled, a little dumbfounded. He couldn't react in time either. At this moment, as the magic dark force struck Zhu Daoren, his body suddenly sank and fell from the sky. The magic dark force firmly smashed into his body and continuously bombarded him. Bang, bang, bang. Zhu Daoren spat out blood. Long Fei's body also sank down, and immediately dove down. In order to prevent Zhu Daoren, the boss, from escaping, Long Fei's magic dark force would not stop attacking. Boom, boom, boom. Zhu Daoren's body was exploding, as the mountain above his head started to bleed profusely. Zhu Yuan was dumbstruck. Zhu Daoren was still shouting, "Run, quickly, quickly run, Yuan quickly, quickly run." Zhu Yuan reacted and ran, but he couldn't help but curse in his heart, "Old thing, you really aren't forced at all, since a dignified overlord realm can't even handle a single Long Fei. Trash. Useless trash." Zhu Yuan did not feel grateful at all. There was only hatred in his heart for his father. Rumble. Zhu Daoren landed on the ground, causing the entire plaza to explode into a huge pit. Long Fei took a step forward. Zhu Daoren growled, and said, Long Fei, everything is my fault. I beg you, spare my son, I beg you. Long Fei walked in front of Zhu Daoren, and said, back then, when defense presbyter blew themselves up one by one, how could you let your people off so easily? Zhu Daoren's expression tensed up, and said, I'm wrong, as long as I die, my soul flying is fine, I can beg you to spare my son, I am just a son, a mere relative, I beg you to spare him. Although Zhu Daoren treated Zhu Yuan like a mouse, he still wanted to cultivate and experiment with him. However, deep in his heart, he incomparably doted on Zhu Yuan, just like an ordinary father. However, he was eager to achieve what he wanted, and he understood how cruel this world was. If he wasn't strong enough, even his son would be looked down upon and trampled upon by others. He wanted his son to become a powerhouse, a supreme powerhouse. So he kept on allowing Zhu Yuan to become stronger. Even if demons appeared in Zhu Yuan's mind, he did not stop. Long Fei looked at him coldly, and said, we're finished, would never show mercy to enemies. Walking in front of Zhu Daoren, Long Fei moved his idea. The magic dark force revolved as he looked at Zhu Yuan in the distance. Zhu Daoren suddenly hugged Long Fei's leg, and shouted out the last, Yuan run, rumble. Long Fei shattered Zhu Daoren's primordial spirit with a palm strike, and his body also instantly turned into dust. Long Fei silently said in his heart, Grandfather Guardian, Zhu Daoren is already dead, rest in peace. His son will be next. 18 Defense Presbyter doted on him like a grandfather. Long Fei was grateful in his heart. The scene of each of them self-destructing was still fresh in his mind. Spare Zhu Daoren? Spare Zhu Yuan? Even if the blade was placed on his neck, Long Fei would not agree. When Zhu Yuan saw that Zhu Daoren's divine body had been destroyed, his pupils tightened. Trash, useless trash, I had thought that you were very strong, but who would have thought that you would also be a piece of trash? It's good that he's dead. He felt no pain in his heart and was instead excited. Following that, without another glance, Zhu Yuan dashed out. Long Fei's gaze locked onto him, and said with a cold smile, you think you can escape? Just as Long Fei was about to release the magic dark force to kill Zhu Yuan, the system sounded out. Ding. Long Fei was excited. The boss Zhu Daoren is going to explode. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.